We go.
And welcome on into a Wednesday edition of The Middle right here live on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel. Harry Mays along with Barrett Brooks. He just combed his beard. He's ready to go. I got a fresh, clean shave. So you know today's going to be a great show. We got a bunch of guests for you. We got Amy Fadul jumping in the show about 10 minutes after 11. So in 10 minutes time, and then we'll have Tom Byrne from SiriusXM's NBA Radio, Mad Dog Sports Radio channel. He's an NBA guru. He will jump on the show around 11:30 today. And then if that's not enough, Barrett, we got Jason Martinez, our old buddy Jason, joining the show at 11:30, and we'll talk a little hockey and anything really that he wants to get into. We've got to touch base on the Stanley Cup playoffs, and I really want to get an idea from him since we're so inundated with Sixers off-season stuff already. What are the Flyers going to do? Because that's a team that's in serious need of an injection of something. I don't know what it is, and I don't know if it exists, but we're going to find out more about what they plan on doing at 11:30 and a whole lot of other stuff. But I gotta start with this because I don't know if we're going to be joined by Eytan today, and rightly so, because last night the world welcomed in Edward Teddy Isaac Shander at 9:29 p.m. 7 pounds 4 ounces of him, and apparently everybody is all healthy and all good to go. So Eytan's son was born at last night around 9:30, and I don't know if we're going to see him today. I doubt it.
I doubt it also.
I just wanted to let everybody know that we're going to be talking Teddy Shander. I mean, that kind of has a good ring to it.
It has a great. I mean, it's a famous type of name, man.
Yeah,
you know, Teddy Shander. I love it, man. I mean, he finally did something good in this world, bro.
Yeah, it took him a while. It only took him a while. You know, I mean, I feel like I should have the crying baby face behind me today instead of Elliott Shore Parks and Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. Of course, that's not Elliott Shore Parks. That was from Bruno yesterday.
That was pretty good, wasn't it?
It was. It's Daryl Morey looking like Elliott Shore Parks.
That's him. That's gonna be him. Like what? 15 years from now?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But congratulations. To Eytan and
yes,
Angela and the whole crew over there. So, we'll probably touch base with him for a little bit tomorrow. I'd imagine today. What do you think he's doing right now? Like, do you think he's like catching up on sleep, or do you think he's like just so wired with this new addition?
Well, it probably worked the opposite for him. You know, he probably so wired that he finally went to sleep. He probably hadn't slept in days, man. You know how he is. And now, he finally, since everything is done now, and he's so excited, he finally went to sleep. So it's like an opposite effect with some people. And I think that's what's wrong with him. He's the opposite of what is supposed to be. Yeah. He's not.
He's the opposite of pretty much everything.
Right,
yeah. We all know that. That's why we love him. So congratulations there. And, anybody can, send him well wishes on his Twitter feed at Shander Show. And I'm sure he'd love to hear from everybody. But we got to start with this game last night, Barrett, because I know you watched this basketball game. We are not like typical Philadelphia sports fans. Like when the local team loses and are out, I'm still in on the sport. Okay. I do that with, it's not just football, basketball. I've been watching the hockey playoffs. I'm amazed with this Montreal Canadiens team and what they're doing. So I was enamored with this basketball game last night. A real tight game all throughout the first half. The second half, each team like kind of took leads, and at the end was just unbelievable. Aside from all the reviews, it took forever, to sort of complete that final minute and a half of that game. But what an incredible alley-oop play from an out of bounds. They draw that up. Credit to Monty Williams for drawing up a great play, and Crowder executing a phenomenal pass. DeAndre Ayton, who's emerging as another star, gets a great screen from Booker, and boom, he thunder jams right in the
unbelievable.
Hoop. But I hate to do it to Paul George because he has been outstanding in these playoffs, but he missed both free throws prior to that would have given them a 3-point lead, and then forcing the Suns to hit a three. So, but I can't believe he missed both of those free throws.
I know, man. I mean, he was playing phenomenally too. He did everything you wanted from the Clippers standpoint to win the game.
Yeah,
I mean, 26 points, played defense, kept the team in it. I mean, it's hard to really hate to do it to him, but we have to hate to do it. You got to make those free throws. You're the leader of the team now.
Yeah,
you're the leader.
Yeah, right.
So they're looking to you to make sure everything. I mean, Reggie Jackson had a great game.
Yeah.
He gave them everything they wanted.
I'm really surprised at how they're stepping up. Without Kawhi Leonard.
Exactly.
I mean, Ty Lue's done a tremendous job. And both of those teams are fun to watch, but really, Phoenix is a joy to watch.
No question.
Even without Chris Paul.
Right. I mean, you look at, Cameron Payne came in a backup role, playing the point, playing like he's an all-star. He gave him 29 last night.
Yeah.
29.
Yeah.
And it made a hip
that basketball powerhouse, Murray State.
Right.
He followed up that other point guard. I think his name was Isaiah Cannon. Was the point guard prior to Cameron Payne. But this guy's just done an amazing job. Absolutely incredible. And I see people, they want us to play the Dario song. We don't have the Dario song on this show. Okay, that was from Gargano's show.
Right. Yeah.
Dario. Dario's done a nice job on the bench, though. He's done a nice job.
But he comes off the bench and he should have been in that type of role here.
Right.
He should have been in that type. Instead of him, they're trying to make him a starter, make him the number 3 option. He's just not the number 3 option. He's a guy that comes off the bench.
He's like a 7th or 8th man. Yeah, exactly.
7th or 8th man. Yeah. But we want him to be a starter. So, that's just those shoes are too big for him to fill. But I mean, you look at Eytan played like an all-star, man. I saw signs of Embiid in him, man.
I know, man.
Step back jumpers. Alley-oops. I mean, you name it. Taking guys off the dribble. Yeah, he did that. He did everything. His game came. It came into fruition. You know what I'm saying? It really came out like, all right, I'm this talented. Let me show you how talented I am.
He's emerging as an offensive player. Like he was always a defensive, player, shot blocker, rebounder, kind of guy. But with at college, and now he's really emerging, and that just goes to show you he's putting in the work.
Yes. Yes. But see. And it all goes back to Ben. Ben puts in the work. Ben works out hard, man. He does everything. He does the little things. I mean, he shoots probably 1,000 free throws a day, 1,000 jumpers.
He shoots 1,000 free throws a day.
I'm sure he does.
What information? Wait, what sources do you have here?
Well, I'm not saying
if he's shooting 1,000 free throws a day, he needs to stop because he stinks. Okay, he needs to stop and do something else. He's doing it all wrong.
Well, I mean. He's that type of player, though. He's gonna do all the little things in practice. He's gonna run extra. He's gonna shoot more shots. He's gonna do all that. He just can't put it together on the field. And I've seen it happen before. I've seen guys go out to practice and they are so dominant in practice, and then they couldn't put it together in the games.
Give me one of those guys from back in the day. Well, the great practice player, but just couldn't play a lick.
Mike Mamula.
Yeah. Oh, is he a great practice guy?
Oh, great practice. He did okay in his career. He played well, but in practice, he was almost unblockable in practice on one-on-ones. But then you get him to the game. I mean, it's probably it's harder. You're going against guys like Eric Williams. I understand that, but you have guys like that. I played with guys, man, that all world. I had this cat named Crowder that I played with Detroit Lions. Mm-hmm. Jermaine Crowder.
I remember him. Yeah.
Jermaine, you look at his build, look at him. He looked like he was all pro in practice. He's catching bombs from Charlie Batch, 60-yard bombs from Charlie. He's checking slants and taking it to the house in scrimmages. I mean, he looked all world in the preseason.
Right.
Got to the regular season, and it kind of fizzled a little bit. He just played, brought back down to earth. He was all world, and then I brought back down to earth, man, and during the regular season. I
guess that's similar to a guy. Now, I know golf is more of a mental game, between your ears than maybe some of these other sports that we talk about. But like the guy that is just great, he's Tiger Woods on the driving range, and then he can't take it to the first tee. That's probably what it's similar to.
Exactly, exactly.
I think I know a guy like that.
Well, I played with a guy like that, man. I played with a guy like that too. Played basketball in high school with him. Well, I played in the street ball with him. But when we got to high school together, he couldn't put it together on the basketball court and organize basketball. On the playground, all world.
Wow.
But I mean, it's kind of just like you said, it's just like me. I'm all world at the driving range.
Mm-hmm.
I'm rocking. I'm sending it at least 300, 350 yards on a regular.
350.
With a 1 iron.
No, you ain't hitting it from 1-iron 350. I will bet you $1,000 that you're not hitting a 1-iron 350.
Well, I mean, when I hit it, I can hit it, but it's just hitting it. Now it may not go the right way, but that joker is flying a country mile. I'm telling you, a country mile. I'll give you one.
We need video. I need video.
All right, I'm gonna give you one. Video.
Hello to Mama Brooks on the stream checking in.
Good morning, Mom.
Everybody checking in, and I see Jeff Bruder saying that he went back and watched the Bruno segment from yesterday twice last night, and he still can't stop laughing. So that's just go back to if you didn't catch it live, it's there on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel. It's cut up for just that segment. It's probably about 25 minutes we spent with him yesterday. How great was that?
I still can't. I'm looking over your shoulder, man. All I see is Elliott Shore Parks now.
Who's that? Who's that behind there? Huh? Elliott Shore Parks?
Like, what? And I keep thinking Ben is underneath his RV.
yeah, right there, yeah. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere, huh? Jesus.
You got him all the way.
Oh my God. But we're expected to be joined by Amy Fadul from NBC Sports Philadelphia here any second. She, of course, does a great job hosting the Sixers post-game show, and I'm really anxious to get her take from yesterday's Daryl Morey press conference.
Right.
Did you get anything out of that? There she is.
There she is.
Hey, there she is.
What's up?
Right on time. Oh man,
hey, how's it going now?
It's good, V. How are you? Hi, Harry.
I sent you an email.
Welcome to the show.
You sent me an email, which required you to open your email and compose
wow.
one. You didn't check any of the ones.
You just don't know what you started.
Yeah, he could bypass the compose.
Right.
It was right to compose, bypass actually checking any of the other emails.
Exactly.
Still 4,562 that are unanswered.
Bro, I do it to Harry. I do it to irritate her. I go up there and I just show her my phone with all the emails, and I bring it to my desk. I say, look at these emails right here. He said, Barrett, it's 300 emails there. Yeah. Of course, you understand they can only go to 300 right now.
That's right.
You got to do something. You got to do something.
Wow. You don't have no idea what you started, Amy, since you were on the last time. Our stream and the people that follow this show on a daily basis are constantly telling Barrett to check his emails. It's become a hashtag on the show.
Thank you, people.
I don't think he's doing it.
No,
I'm trying. I even retweet stuff. Harry comes.
Yeah. Well, you got to tell him. I have to text him. Amy, I'm like, can you please retweet this? Like,
does he get back to you ever, or does it the retweet comes 7 hours after the show's ended?
No, I retweet as soon as I see it, and then he'll hit me back appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. It's a full-time job, Amy. It really is.
Truly, Sanji's a miracle.
He's taking over.
All right, Amy. Let's get right to it. I mean, let's go back to Game 7. You're doing the post.
I don't want to go back.
Oh, you don't want to? Well, I just wanted to see if you could recreate your reaction while you're watching the game there with Jim Lynam, Coach Lynam, when Ben Simmons passed up that dunk opportunity with about 3.5 minutes to go in the game.
Aim, what is he doing? Dunk it on his head. That's literally what he said. Dunk it on his head. He was like, who's guarding him there? And I said, actually not anybody. Go, Trae Young? Come on, dunk it on his head. Yeah, he was. We were just, apocalyptic.
So
it was like, what are you doing? And I know
we watch all the games in our newsroom.
Yeah, so we watch it all together. But at that point, we go down because the way that it works in the playoffs is as soon as the game is done, like the final buzzer, we don't have to wait for the broadcast to wrap or anything. We go on. Mm-hmm. So we were watching it together. We're still together, but we're on the set, and it's just like we have it ahead of our producer Brian Brennan. So we hear, "Oh my God!" Like Jim said, and Brian's like, "What?" I'm like, "Just wait until you see this." So he put Matisse Thybulle at the line. Yeah, obviously he said it. Like it's all mental for him. The guy that scored 42 against the Jazz back in January, that guy did not show up. I don't even know where he is. He should put out a missing poster because he's not here anymore. He said he had to change his mentality. The mentality went right out the window, and he reverted right back to himself, almost like even a regression even from before the pass first, pass second. He was so scared of getting fouled therefore going to the free throw line, therefore missing the free throws with the game on the line or game still in doubt, I should say, that he passes it. And it's like, it's not the worst pass in the world, but it is the worst pass in the world when you are Ben Simmons, an all-star, and a guy that's 6 feet standing on as Mark Jackson would say, yellow pages, is coming at, and he doesn't even listen. Trae Young saw him, and if you look at the video again, he didn't want any of the smoke. He didn't want to get dunked on. That's what everyone in the building knew was going to happen, except for the one gentleman who was holding the ball. It was incredible. It was an incredible play, and it was I'd like to say it was a lack of awareness, but no, I think he was all too aware of the situation.
Yes, too aware of it.
Too aware of it, like hyper aware of it. The game's on the line. I'm not going to the free throw line. I'm not doing that. No way.
Not today. Well, I mean,
not today.
What I mean, and it's not just Ben. It's
no, it's not. I mean, obviously he's easy to pile on right now.
Right,
the majority of it.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, B. I said it on the set on post game. Harry, you, me and Ben took the exact same number of shots in the last 4 fourth quarters.
It's unbelievable.
All of us combined.
3 shots in a 7-game series in the fourth quarter.
3 shots.
Yeah. That graphic you guys put up was unbelievable.
1, 2, and 3
in
games 4, 5, or 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm sorry, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 4. No shots in the fourth quarter.
Come on now, that's ridiculous. Yeah. Come on now. I mean, no matter how mentally incapable of playing at that time, you have a team that's looking to you. I mean, and I think it's partly the 76ers putting that max contract on him, which allows us to have those type of expectations on
we
Ben.
had it with Tobias, and the thing is, like, Tobias, when he came out and he was much better this year. I mean, obviously he was in the All-Star conversation, probably just missed it by voting. He's admitted it. Like, listen, people were hard on me. They wanted to ship me out of town, and I got it. Like, I had this big contract, and you got to live up to it. I know Ben Simmons is only 24 years old, and I know it's not his entire fault that they blew a 26-point lead in Game 5 at home.
We forget that too.
Yeah.
Oh,
you're right. It's 24. Yeah.
They lost 3 of the 4 games at home.
3 home games, Harry. 3. You play all season. All you talked about all season long was you wanted that 1 seed so you could have the home games, and then you piddle it away. Like, come on. The Hawks would have been so excited to go, look at us. Oh, good, 7 games. We turned our season around. They would have been fine to bow out. It would have been okay. No one that they was going to get fired or traded. That would have been like, wow, we really turned it around. Look at us. Nate McMillan, you got a coaching job. Trae Young, you guys are an up-and-coming team. Good for you. John Collins, Kevin Harlan, the little engine could. And instead, it was the team that was the 1 seed that was like, well, yeah, I guess we tried.
You saw it in their face.
Hard to win.
Yeah, you saw it in their face.
Hard
they
to
didn't
win.
want to win.
But I loved it how Embiid pointed to that moment as really the turning point of the game. I mean, that was pretty.
That sequence was pretty bad.
Stuff.
And listen, I mean, Joel Embiid didn't have a particularly good game. 8 turnovers is always going to cost you.
Tobias missed a ton of layups.
Talk about being tight. Like, whoa, we've all been there, right? I mean, Barrett, allegedly you played on a larger stage than Harry and I, but still nonetheless, Harry and I played a serious game.
Yeah, right.
We were at the Super Bowl.
That Robisonia Playground League was tough, man.
In high school. Come on, I was in the regionals. So, get all nervous. But
you're like Mayor from Easttown.
I am Mayor. Well, Mayor hit a game-winning shot, though.
Yes, that's true.
I never did that. But I would pound some Rolling Rock with Mayor, I think.
That's right.
I think she and I could enjoy some Rolling Rock. But they obviously got tight. Missing those bunnies, that's just, you could tell, like, that's the tightness and I'm nervous. So in B, when he starts to talk about the turning point, he's like, and he mentions me, he's like, I don't want to. The way he set it up, and I was like, I'm listening to it, and my face is like, is he talking about what I think? He is talking about what I think himself. And then, of course, he went on to say, and then I turned the ball over. I mean, that sequence, it was literally like 2 straight things back to back that just really, they missed. He didn't dunk it. They fouled Matisse Thybulle. He only makes 1. And then the very next possession down where they had to get a bucket, Joel Embiid turns the ball over. So he had the ball in his hands way too much. They rely on him too much, especially down the stretch. This offseason, they've got to go out and get a shooter that creates his own shot. I feel like I'm like talking about the Flyers goalie situation and like a quarterback for the Eagles. Like, come on. I mean, every year it's the same thing. But
right. I mean, you keep saying, it comes from here. Yeah, again. Well, All right.
Yeah, Morey said it too. He was like, "That's what we need, but you can't go in." Daryl Morey said something yesterday because he was asked about that. Because basically, like, I think David Murphy asked the question. A couple people did in different ways. Like, what do you need? You need this. How do you get it? And he was like, you can't go in with the single mindset of like, I've got to get this, which I agree to a certain extent, because then you become so tunnel vision on the one thing that you might miss out on something else. But that's a really big thing that you need. So it's like, I get that you want to have, you want to have a couple more guys on your bench that can come up to the veteran presence and that don't, kind of like shy away from the playoff kind of atmosphere. But at the same time, you got to get a guy that can create his own shot, score points.
Well,
like you got to get him.
I'm gonna ask you a question that I hate to do it because I mean you're a Kentucky gal, you know what I mean? That's your thing.
Yeah, there you go. Representing. I love it.
I must have 400 shirts.
I love it.
It always shows up.
But why the little engine that could came in game 6 and won the game for you, and then in the fourth quarter, the little engine that could, they didn't even get an opportunity to even try. What was that all about?
I mean, I think Doc probably saw some stuff earlier on that he was like, maybe it's too much to ask for him. I'm not really sure what his thinking was. I mean, he was asked about that a little bit. And he's like, yeah, he trusted his guys. It's kind of a lose-lose right there, because if I shouldn't say it's lose-lose. It's lose, maybe win, kind of, but at what expense? So a guy comes in. I mean, listen, he showed out in game 6. He got rewarded and he got some early playing time in game 7, but he had some of the jitters too. To be expected, the kid's 20 years old. Why they didn't go back to him, I don't know. Maybe Doc just didn't trust him at that point, because then if he keeps him in and he does something bad, are you setting the kid back because now his confidence is shaken a little bit? Or, is it the ultimate like, all right, look, he picked us up once again, but what's happened to the rest of the team? So, I don't know. I don't know why he didn't at least attempt him out there for a little bit. Furkan Korkmaz, I wasn't a real big fan of him in that situation when he was out there with all the starters. I got it. He has the potential of hitting a 3, so I think that's why he had him out there. They've got to go out and just, they got to get another guy. I know Danny Green, they've said is coming back. He would have been a good guy to have out there, and he had not had a particularly good series until he had, up until the point he'd gone out. Who's to say with the game on the line, he wouldn't have been able to step up, but it's always,
he at least been on Herter a little bit. He did a lot better on Herter than Curry.
It was an odd matchup that they didn't do well defensively. I mean, Kevin Herter, come on, Opie Cunningham out there raining peace. I couldn't believe it.
Incredible.
I couldn't believe it.
Follow Amy on Twitter at Amy Fadul NBCS, and I got to get your take on. Since the game 7, Doc has been out there saying about how he knows how to fix Ben, at least from the free throw line, and that's where it starts. And Daryl Morey yesterday giving a lot of GM speak, which you expect. But what do you make of the public comments thus far after game 7, as far as are they just sort of, trying to make it seem like everything's all good so they can try to create a deal, keep his value up, or are they really seriously thinking about bringing him back?
I mean, I do. I think Daryl Morey's going to say he's never going to tank his product, right? He's never going to trash something he's trying to sell.
The Eagles do that.
They do, which is so straight. This guy's terrible. You want him?
Yeah,
no,
right.
Actually, I don't.
He's a bad leader. He's a bad teammate.
Pick for him? No,
unbelievable.
You guys don't even like him. Why would I want that? That's like if someone tries something to eat and it tastes terrible, like try it. You're like, no, you said it tasted awful. I don't want to try it. You got to try it. No, I don't want it. You got to
take Zach Ertz's contract, all right? Just and give us a second rounder,
right?
Give us something. I do think that Doc does believe that he can help Ben Simmons. Baker's in the background. I do think he can help him. His telling comment was if he asked if Ben Simmons was a point guard on a championship team, and he says, I don't know that right now. That's as honest an answer as you're ever going to get. It was in the moment of that game 7, you're losing the series, and it's just that the season is over. And I think he meant that in a way that he doesn't maybe know if he's a point guard. I don't know what else he is. Daryl Morey was asked yesterday if you think that Ben Simmons is a power forward. I think that would be a disaster. You can't put him in that position. It's just not. That's not a good fit for him.
Where's he going to put him in?
Jim Lyman about it. I'm like, Jim, where does he go? And he goes, I don't know him. I mean, he's a point guard, but he's not a good one. I mean, it's true. So he is a point guard. I don't mind him in the point guard role, but he's got to make free throws. I was on with you guys before. I don't care if he ever shoots a three-pointer. I could care less. But let's start with 6 feet and out. And then we'll go to 6 feet and in, 8 feet and in. Let's just work on that and the confidence to shoot. That's all I care. I don't care if you take 12, 15-footer. Leave that to Tobias Harris. His mid-range game is on point. Right. But you can't have a guy that's terrified to shoot and that just sits in the dunker spot the whole game. Can't do it. So I do think that Doc believes that he can help Ben Simmons. I believe that. Doc says he's got a plan. They're going to try it out. The big question, obviously, from us here is like, was he going to try it out here in Philadelphia? Is he going to try it out in California? Because we know once he goes out there, he's working with family and people that are maybe less apt to tell him you're doing it wrong. Then there was the report about switching hands. The funniest thing about that is like, I don't know which hand he shoots with. Right. You guys watch him and tell me if you think that he's for sure a left-handed shooter. Or
no, I
can't.
Sure,
right? No, you can't.
Nope.
So that's step one. Which-handed are you? Step two.
I didn't know that. You know, that was something to me.
That's always been that way. No one knows. No one knows. Yeah. He doesn't know. So whatever works.
Incredible.
So I think that Doc does believe that because at the core of Doc's success and when he's been his most successful, he's a player's coach. And players listen to him because he's been there. He has been there. He's been through the wars. He knows what it's like. It just depends. And Sam Cassell was that guy earlier in the season. If you remember, Ben Simmons was shooting. He was aggressive. He attributed that to Cassell. And then something happened. What happened? I don't know. But he reverted back. So that was the disappointing
Jenner.
part.
Should be an interesting offseason, Amy. We'll be following you on Twitter, and I tell you, this team always gives you something. It's just drama, 24/7, never ends. Thanks so much for jumping on.
You need to go coach him because you make me check my emails. You make me do this.
You don't
make
actually
me do
do it either.
Oh, right.
All right. That backfired. Okay. Bye, Amy. See you later, Amy.
Thanks so much. Man. There she is, Amy Fadul, giving Barrett the business. The stream loves it. Man. We all love it. We all see it. And we got Tom Byrne coming up next from NBA Radio on Sirius XM, also Mad Dog Sports Radio. He's an NBA honk, and he will give us his thoughts on the situation with the Sixers, Ben Simmons, and, of course, the NBA playoffs, because they still are playing, believe it or not. Right. More on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel. Harry Mays, Barrett Brooks on the middle. Back after this.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. The savoring taste of a good bag of beef jerky is so enjoyable at any time of the day, as long as you can find it. Here's what we suggest. Pure Bull Beef Jerky is our answer, and soon it will be yours. Locally produced in the Philadelphia region, this high-quality, healthy protein snack is easy to secure. Go to steersnacks.com, and you'll see hot garlic, tropical heat, Pure Bull dry rub, and our favorite, Huck and Fod. What's that? Huck and Fod. Go now to steersnacks.com.
In the Wildwoods, our free beaches are spacious and welcoming with plenty of room to spread out. Your seat will be waiting for you when you're ready to visit. The Wildwoods, creating cherished family memories for generations.
Attention women of South Jersey and the Delaware Valley. Sign up right now with Our Lady NRA instructor, Nayara Andrzak, who will teach you gun safety as part of this 3-hour safety class, which is being held at Delaware Valley Sports Center in Philadelphia. For information, drop an email to info@DelawareValleySportsCenter.com. That's info@DelawareValleySportsCenter.com. Learn the fundamentals at Delaware Valley Sports Center. You can't miss.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out Book It Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the Book It Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the Book It Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on Book It.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 98, is a proud sponsor of The Labor Show with J. Doc and Krause every Saturday night from 6 till 8 p.m. IBEW Local 98's highly trained and superbly skilled electricians are the best in the business, setting the highest safety standards in the electrical industry. So when you're planning your next industrial, commercial, or residential project, choose an IBEW Local 98 union contractor. Learn more at ibew98.org.
All right, we're back on JAKIB Media. Harry Mays, Barrett Brooks in the middle. Just had a nice conversation with and I'll tell you, she keeps like on top of you, man. You know,
no question, man. Because I was new to this
role on the show now. Like I'm always texting you, hey Barrett, can you do this? And please, thank you. It's unbelievable. Like I think Eytan, he just like is just forget it. You do it. You want Barrett to do something, you tell him to do it. I'm out. You know what I mean?
Man, it is not like I'm not that I'm not that guy. I'm not like an asshole or anything. I just social media, all that stuff, man. It's like I have more concrete stuff to do. It's like it's not concrete to go out there and go get followers. It's tough for me, man. If you want me to break down a play, right, I'm all for it. I'm here for you. I'm gonna make it happen.
Right.
But I'm a nice guy. I'm nice in real life. I just don't know how to do the social media thing consistently. I just forget about it. I forget my phone. I leave my phone at home.
Really? See, that's funny because I don't go anywhere without it except when I go on vacation. Like if I go to like the Mexico, anytime I went to Mexico back when we were going basically every year, I never took my phone.
That's crazy.
It was the 5 greatest days of the year, but if I'm, just in my regular life, if I'm not on vacation, I've got my phone hot and on me all the time. If I don't answer it, it's because I don't want to answer it.
Right.
It's not because I didn't see the call come through. Okay. Like if you're trying to call me and I'm not answering, I don't want to talk to you.
Right.
Not right now. Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah. At that point, I got something that I'm doing that is more important to me at this time. Me, I leave my phone sitting there and I just go.
Right.
I mean, I forget it. My wife gets all pissed off at me. I go to call you and the phone is ringing right next to me. I'm like,
and she knows it's there and she knows that you see it. Right. That's what my wife does to me. Because she knows how I am with it. She goes, I know you just ghosted me today. Oh yeah. Sorry.
She doesn't say it like that, does she?
I didn't want you to ruin my flow.
Man, I just doing like I'm after the show, I'm going down into my garage and I'm working on something. I don't know yet. I'm working on something. So I'm gonna take the phone this time.
Right. Now, did you watch the NBA draft lottery thing before the game last night?
Absolutely not. Because we're not in it. Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Who's getting number 1 pick?
Detroit.
Wow.
Ben Wallace was there representing the Detroit Pistons.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Ben Wallace.
Let me check the order out.
He's going to the Hall of Fame, Ben Wallace.
Yeah, as he should.
And Houston had Hakeem Olajuwon representing.
Wow.
And he looked kind of pissed off that they didn't get the number one pick, man.
Yeah, he has expectations.
Exactly.
Look at Houston, man. They got a lot going on down there right now, man.
They do?
I mean, yeah. I mean, football team doesn't really have a quarterback.
It's all bad what they got going on.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's all bad.
Yeah.
Who's their star on the basketball team?
Is John Wall still on that team?
I thought it was the last year's contract. Did they re-up him?
I have no idea.
See, that's the problem right there, man. I hate to do it to you, but Houston used to be a mecca of football for a little while. Now, nothing going on. They got wild tigers getting loose. That's what they got.
Wild tigers? Yeah. Going after Ron Culver. I miss Ron Culver because we're not on Sports Map this week because all that goes through Eytan's equipment. But I kind of miss Ron Culver.
Yeah,
and I miss Jake Asman too.
Well, he probably misses us more than we miss him.
Well, I think he's doing the show in place of us.
Oh, is he?
I think so.
Oh, so he might be a little pissed off.
I know.
We got him working extra.
He'll have a couple more hours to talk about his Jets. But yeah, I did watch the NBA draft lottery. Detroit got the #1 pick. Houston got the 2nd pick. Cleveland, it seems like Cleveland is always in the top 3.
Oh, no question.
Ever since LeBron left, I think there was some sort of, side room deal that Gilbert, the owner, gets a top 3 pick for the next 10 years.
Right.
Toronto took the 4th pick. And the other things of note were Orlando has 2 picks in the lottery. They were 5th and 8th.
Wow.
And Golden State has the 7th and the 14th pick.
Dang.
So they got 2 lottery picks.
Wow.
Sixers don't pick till late in the first round, and every NBA mock draft that I've seen is Chris Duarte from Oregon is linked with the Sixers. There he is, Tom Byrne. There he is, the NBA
What's
savant
up?
From NBA Radio on Sirius XM, also Mad Dog Sports Radio. You got to follow him on Twitter, and he's on VSiN. Man, this guy is everywhere, dog. I'll tell you, follow him on Twitter at the number 1. Tom Byrne. Tom, welcome to the show, man.
I apologize. I completely forgot about the video. I'm out sweating my butt off doing the lawn.
Oh, yeah.
A phone call from Harry.
Well, yeah. See, last week we had him on for the first time. He was at the beach and he couldn't do the video. So I think he was just sort of thinking it was going to be another phoner.
Exactly.
That's okay.
Yes. Yeah, my bad.
That's all right. Now I know. We'll get to him, but yeah. I know you were up late watching that game last night. What a tremendous game too, with the finish there with Crowder to Eytan with the from the out of bounds play to end up getting the win. Paul George missing a couple big free throws just prior to that. What's your thoughts on this series early on here? It's the Clippers, undermanned, but they're down 0-2 again. Can they pull out of it like they have the past 2 times?
I don't think this time, right? No Kawhi Leonard. I would take that trade if I'm Phoenix. As great as Chris Paul is at big moments, Chris Paul or Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
We know who's the better player there. Plus, Chris Paul appears primed to return potentially in Game 3. So we'll see how it plays out. But right now, guys, with the way Milwaukee played against Brooklyn, I think Philadelphia would have beaten that version of Brooklyn. I think Atlanta would have beaten that version of Brooklyn potentially. Bottom line is that was a different James Harden. Let's put it that way. 1.5 big players, I'd say, Milwaukee was competing against after Kyrie went out. So I come away less than impressed with Milwaukee. My point is, I think Phoenix not only could beat the Clippers, but if you wanted to tell me Phoenix is the favorite right now, and think about how great Mikal Bridges has played. I know he missed a corner 3 last night. Zaire Smith, anybody see him?
No. I said yesterday, I think he's working at a Walmart.
Yeah, I think he was my greeter this morning.
Yeah,
when I went to get the gasoline for the lawnmower. Yeah,
exactly. Well, we have Brett Brown to thank for that move. Wasn't he the acting GM, like the interim GM during that draft?
Yeah, who knows? That's when they were in that period where they didn't really have a general manager. Elton Brand, Brett Brown, the brain trust was lacking, to say the least, at that stage. Just an awful move. I mean, we could spend all show on that, though. Just the moves they made since the process. It's just incredible how bad they've been for the most part.
Well, look at Dario now. Dario's giving him quality minutes at the 7th or 8th guy. We tried to make him the number 4 guy on the Sixers team, and he just wasn't that guy. He wasn't that person, So look, he's starting to thrive now in that situation down there. So it just goes to show, a lot of players on this team. I mean, the whole process started with Holiday, and where is he at now? He's playing and probably going to win the East, at this point. So. I mean, there's so many guys that, come from the Philly teams that just flourish in other places.
It really is crazy. I was thinking about that. Look at the contract Jeremy Grant got with Detroit. Look at the contract that Christian Wood got in Houston. TJ McConnell was like the Pacers' go-to guy down the stretch this season. Now, that says as much about the Pacers and their injuries as anything else. But to your point, it's painful watching a lot of these guys prosper elsewhere. And again, that's why I think, and I know we haven't gotten to this fully yet, you need to be a little careful with Simmons. As atrocious as he was, and we know he was. The reality is, and you know this as a sports bettor, you don't sell low. You buy low, you sell high. Right now, his value is so low. I'd bring him back, and if you want to trade him, don't say anything until the trade deadline. Some spoiled brat somewhere are 1 out, and you can maybe make a play for a superstar. Right now, Ben Simmons and more for CJ McCollum. I did shows with CJ. Hell no, I wouldn't do that. Yeah. Zach LaVine, and you're gonna add draft assets. 24 years old, he's already made All-NBA, 3 All-Star teams. He's atrocious in a big spot, so I wouldn't give up as much value as you typically would for somebody that age, that accomplished. But I think some general managers somewhere will be, you could call foolish enough to do so if they see him put another half season under his belt.
How much more would you have to throw in, and I don't know if this could even be done, to get a guy like Damian Lillard?
Yeah, I know. It's funny. It sounds crazy to even suggest that now, right? But 6 months ago, that would have been a fair suggestion. Unfortunately, his value is so low. It's crazy right now. Stock is just so low. I don't even know if that's even a possibility anymore. Before, I thought it would be. Maybe add something to the Simmons package, of course, but now add something to a package for CJ?
Yeah.
CJ McCollum's always been a fringe all-star type player. He could drop 30 in his sleep. I get that. He'd be a good fit in theory. But I don't know. He's 29. You're also giving up 5 years. He's 29 years of age. He spent 4 years at Lehigh. People forget that. I don't know if that's the greatest package in the world, but at least for the first time in a while, I don't know if you guys agree. I do trust Daryl Morey. Not that he has a championship under his belt, but I trust him more than the past 2 regimes.
Well, this is a unique fan base out here, man, and they have a lot more influence on these teams than most players, most teams that you deal with. And at this point, they want heads to roll here, and they want Ben Simmons' head to roll. And I understand exactly what you're saying. You're talking about a guy who's, outside of shooting, he's one of the most complete, accomplished players you can have as far as being a distributor, rebounding, defensive prowess. He has all that athletic talent, a great slasher in transition type of basketball. But this fan base wants what they want. Now, if you listen to Maury and, the interviews and stuff, I think they're thinking along the lines of the same thing you're saying. They believe they can fix. Is he fixable to you?
I don't know anymore. I thought so. And I've said, and I told you.
That's realistic.
Yeah, I thought it was a shame he would never be the best version of himself because he doesn't trust himself to shoot. But he took it to a new level in this series, especially that final game when he gave up the now infamous dunk to Matisse Thybulle, who was a moron, by the way, in Game 5 and Game 7.
Yeah.
Game 5, he fouls Trae Young. Game 7, he fouls another three-point shooter. I mean, for a smart dude, Matisse Thybulle's a very smart guy. Man, he doesn't have a high basketball IQ defensively yet, but obviously he's a great defensive player. Getting back to your point, Ben Simmons, I think he might be who he is, unfortunately. I mean, you go back, you watch Summer League tape, he's taking all these shots. You go to LSU, he's taking corner threes, for goodness sakes. I would hate to see him develop somewhere else, Barrett. Could you imagine that? All of a sudden he goes somewhere else. We're sitting here
That's what
with
happens.
29-year-old CJ McCollum. And next you know, Ben Simmons, you get a box score. What? Ben Simmons was 2 for 3 from 3, shot 5 mid-range. Could you imagine? Oh, my God.
That's going to be like when Carson Wentz throws 38 touchdowns and 7 interceptions this year in the Indianapolis.
That's a good point. The Carson Wentz thing could be very painful. You're right about that. This whole football season might be painful for the Eagles.
Yeah.
That's another story.
Well, the other thing, Tom, is like with all the injuries throughout the NBA, and you can even go back to, with the Lakers with Anthony Davis, LeBron wasn't even quite right. Kawhi Leonard goes down, the injuries in Brooklyn. It just seemed like they had a freeway to the finals. And this was the year, man, where, at the end of the day, you don't care if you end up with the ring in a parade, you're not going to sit there and say, oh yeah, but so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so were hurt. So what? Like this might've been their best chance. Who knows?
I agree. It's painful watching Phoenix right now, especially with no Chris Paul. Now the difference there is we're pretty sure he'd be back at the very least for a final.
Yeah.
Still, Phoenix is beatable.
That would have been a great final.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we thought they were just as talented as Phoenix. And so, the Clippers, if they had Kawhi Leonard, from a talent standpoint, maybe they have a slight edge, but they're not going to get Kawhi Leonard back, I don't think. Kawhi, I think, is done for the season. We shall see. And obviously, Milwaukee, again, I've already hit them up. I mean, I didn't come away impressed with Drew Holiday in that series. Chris Middleton had a couple great games. He also
had a couple good games.
Right. Yeah. Giannis, I wouldn't be surprised if Dave McMillan goes to the hack of Giannis. Why not? He shoots the same percentage as Ben. So, I don't come away all that impressed with any of the teams. Not to say they're not very good. They all are. But there's no Warriors. There's no LeBron-led, Laker team or even Cavalier team for that matter. I'm with you. It makes it extra painful because if they just would have won that Game 7, right now I think a lot of people, frankly, would look at Philadelphia as the favorite for a chip.
Well, you know what? You're absolutely right, man. And that's what irritates me the most. But even, before the 76ers lost this series, I thought the East was looking a lot better, a lot more impressive than the West was. And now, I don't know, the NBA is pissed off at the representation that's coming from the East right now and what's going on in the NBA, man. They have to be at this point.
Yeah,
I mean,
Atlanta and Milwaukee. Come on, Barrett. The ratings are not going to be good.
No.
I work on NBA radio. I'm wondering, is anybody going to be listening after freaking Atlanta, Milwaukee? Nah, I mean, listen, it's the Eastern Finals. People will be into it to an extent. The hardcore hoop head will be there.
Right,
but the general, Joe Schmo, he's not going to care as much as long as LeBron, KD, even Embiid, he's got star power. Dame Lillard. You guys know who the big names are. Kawhi's not playing. Giannis will move the needle, but only to a certain extent. Trae Young, to a certain extent. They're not. Atlanta's actually a big market to an extent, but they're not Philadelphia. It's not Brooklyn. It's the worst matchup Adam Silver could have envisioned. And even the LA matchup, yes, they get the LA market, but it's not the Lakers. There's no Kawhi.
Right.
It's not the best Final Four in the world for the NBA. Now, me personally, I'd rather these teams win it than LeBron win another, than the Nets win one, because I think they're going to have a chance to win one anyway. I'd like to spread the wealth anyway.
Anybody but LeBron. Anybody but LeBron.
Right. And I'm not even
that seemed to be the consensus,
hater. Yeah,
right.
I'm not even a LeBron hater. I actually think he's your next door neighbor. You like him, but the reality is, I don't want LeBron winning again. And he's awfully dramatic. I thought he was going to show up. After they lost that final game 6, I would have sworn he showed up to the presser in a wheelchair, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just remind us there's something wrong with his ankles. That's the way he operates. It's frustrating, but I'm with you.
I remember back when I hit the free throws, even though I was, I saw 3 free throws.
Oh, yeah, he was blurry vision.
Yeah, he hit the 3. He hit the 3, and he just shot at the middle rim. Meanwhile, I'm looking at his eyes because I'm doing the postgame show. They look fine.
We all see it. Yeah, we all see it.
Hey, what did you think of the NBA draft lottery last night? I'm sure you had to touch on that a little bit on the post game show.
Barely, if I'm honest, Harry, I completely forgot about it.
Oh, you did? Wow! Whoa! Wait a second. He's on NBA radio and he forgot about the draft lottery. Wow! Yeah, I was the only one who watched it.
I know. I don't
know that was the ratings.
The league does an awful job of promoting when these things are. You never know when they're handing out an award. You just turn on a game and somebody's holding up a trophy.
You're right about that.
It's very strange about the scheduling as far as that stuff's concerned. But the Pistons could use Cade Cunningham. I didn't come away impressed with Cade during the NC2A tournament, but that's a small sample size. I mean, I know he's going to be a great scorer. A lot of people seem to think it's going to be a pretty good draft, at least 1 through 5. We'll see. The Warriors end up getting 2 lottery picks. We'll see how that works out. There weren't huge storylines coming out of it necessarily. The Knicks were actually the playoffs for once. You don't have to talk about where they are. And I think some of the bigger storylines are actually on the floor, whereas a lot of times they are the draft lottery. But it is interesting to see the Pistons. They need something because you go down to a Pistons game, you could get seats on the floor. Nobody goes.
Right. Now, is it just me that thinks that Dan Gilbert made a deal with the commissioner when LeBron left that he gets a top 3 pick for like the next 10 years? They are always in the top 3.
I know. It's crazy. And yet they always stink. So it doesn't really matter, does it?
No.
They'll take another Colin Sexton, Darius Garland, decent player, but not great. I don't know. And then how about Kevin Love? Listen, I love when guys commit to play for Team USA. It's great. Kevin Durant, I give him all the credit in the world coming off the Achilles. But now Kevin Love, who played like 3 games all year, collected checks the entire time, is going to play for Team USA.
Right.
How much you want to bet he'll come back and have right knee soreness and miss the first couple months of next season, despite getting a check?
There you go. Yeah. And that was one thing I was glad, at least initially, it seems like Ben Simmons is not going to play for Team Australia, and he's going to work on game improvement instead.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, that's the word.
I guess you could argue that both ways if you think about it. Maybe, give him the ball. I don't know if Australia would be willing to do this, but hey, he'll play. But we need him to have the ball every possession down the stretch.
Right.
Shoot just to get accustomed to it. That would be interesting. But he probably wouldn't do that. So, hey, listen, whatever environment gives him a better chance to work off this mental issue he's having, the mental block. I was shocked when he admitted, after game 6 or game 5, that it was a mental problem when he was 14. That's not something we've heard from Ben before. That's an admission.
Right.
That's something I think we got to take very serious. And that's probably something we all should have known, considering it's not like he used to not shoot from the outside.
Right.
Well, you know what? Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Barrett.
I mean, that to me, that's a step. That's one of the most positive steps in the right direction I've seen from Ben since he's been here. Because it used to be like, all right, what are you talking about? Shoot for what? I'm an all defensive player.
Right. I am what I am. I love that response.
So why should I change? And I think he got humbled. He ate a piece of the humble pie this year. So I think there is a chance that he might change. And they got to keep him because of that. I was on the bandwagon. Hey man, we need to get him out. No, he's got to stay here. He's got to stay here. Just to just for himself, man. From the standpoint of, all right, he owes his fan base a little more than what he's given them.
Well, that's for sure. I mean, there were high expectations. Not that any of those comparisons matter. Not that any of those comparisons are his fault necessarily. But to your point, he has always carried himself with a little sense of arrogance. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And maybe that rubs off a little bit now. Maybe that goes away a little bit as he's been humble, to your point. Because before it was always how many assists I have, how many plays did my opponent have. Now it was, I think it's a mental block. That's probably good. A little reality might be the best thing that could ever happen to Ben Simmons. Again, I'm with you guys. I know it takes a lot of patience, and a lot of us here in Philadelphia sports fans don't have patience. But if you think the best thing to do is move on, you still bring him back because you don't sell low. Let him shine, and he will likely make the All-Star team. That's when you move, and I bet you get more than the proposed packages right now you're reading all over the internet.
So let him feast on a bunch of bad teams in the East in the regular season and build up his stats. Maybe he does come back and can shoot 60-some-odd% from the free throw line, Doc thinks he can do, and that builds back his value, and you do it at the deadline. That's your thought.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what you do. And right now, I mean, it's not as if he can't play with Joel Embiid. Even in the playoffs, they were a plus 19.9 net rating per 100 possessions together. Think about that. There's never been a team in the history of the sport that had a plus 19.9 net rating. So that also speaks to the lousy rotations from Doc Rivers, by the the but that's a whole other topic. I'm not even sure Doc guy wasn't before.
Right.
But yes, to answer your question, I'd wait on Ben Simmons.
And this basically added to Doc's, the bad side of his resume, which is blowing leads in the playoffs with good teams.
Another one. He was out adjusted by Nate McMillan. He did a fantastic job in the regular season. I'm not trying to take him, out of Philadelphia yet. But if this were to happen next year and they shine again and then come up small at a postseason spot, at that stage, I think you've got to move on from Doc. I think it's kind of funny. Already you hear people, Ben Simmons is 24. He's been in the league, 4 years? Well, he's not a postseason player. Okay, we know that after 4 years. Yeah, we've seen Doc Rivers for 4 decades. And because he won in 2008 with Kevin Garnett.
With a bunch of Hall of Famers.
Right, with 3 Hall of Famers, 2 of which are probably top 50 of all time. He is a postseason performer. That doesn't make sense. So you'd have to use that same mindset to move on from Doc Rivers after 1 more year.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, let's get into the meat of it, man. Who do you see in the finals this year?
Milwaukee and Phoenix. Phoenix up 2-0 is an easy one, obviously. The Clips have come back from 2 games to none twice, but without Kawhi Leonard, I don't think that's happening. I think they'll take 1 or 2 at Staples. Milwaukee, I think, will be tested by Atlanta. I already took the 8 with the Hawks. I was surprised. 8 points.
Look at you.
And the series price was a little surprising. Yeah, I mean, come on, 8 points for Atlanta, I think is pretty good.
I do too.
So, yeah, I gotta believe it or not, I'm all into the modeling now. Harry, you would love it.
Nice.
Player-based model as Atlanta, team-based model as Atlanta. So we'll see. Watch, they'll get blown out by 50 tonight. I really think Milwaukee's susceptible defensively. You could get them rotating with a little penetration, and now you can swing the ball. And 3-point shooters feast on Milwaukee's defense, even when they have great net ratings defensively. Their perimeter defense has always stunk. So I think this Atlanta matchup could be a little scary at times. Milwaukee will win the series, but I think Atlanta makes it a lot closer than the odds makers in general.
No question.
I tend to agree with you. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you before we say goodbye. I know you're Mr. NBA, but you're also Mr. College Football, and you're Fighting Irish. What do you think of this new playoff scenario? And you got to love it from a Fighting Irish standpoint, no?
Well, I don't think so, just because if I have the information correctly, they can't get a bye here, I don't think. So there's no way. They don't have a built-in bye, which doesn't really make sense. If you're top 4, why wouldn't you get a bye? But I guess it's a way to penalize them. So from that standpoint, I don't know if it is. But overall, I don't know how you feel about it, Harry. I don't love it. I think sometimes less is more in sports. I'm not looking forward to taking calls on Mad Dog Sports Radio from guys about whether or not Alabama should be load managing, because that's coming. Why would Alabama play its starting quarterback, the future #1 pick in the draft, against Auburn in a meaningless Iron Bowl for them? When is the next time Alabama won't be in the college football playoff? Clemson, same thing. Clemson, South Carolina, that rivalry game is dead. Michigan, Ohio State. Ohio State will be more concerned about load management. College football just invited the worst aspect of the NBA, the load management, which I understand. I get why teams load manage. It's just not good for fans. And I think we're going to have that in what used to be the biggest games in college football. So I knew it was coming, but I don't know if I love it.
Ohio State can load manage and still beat Michigan.
Yeah, you're probably right. And unfortunately,
Right.
Alabama might be able to load manage and still beat 99% of the teams in the country. That's
Right.
the other thing, too. Well, at least we'll have fresh blood. No, we won't. It's still going to be Alabama. It's still going to be Clemson. It's still going to be Ohio State.
In the end, it will be, yeah.
Yeah, so we're changing the rules so we could see, Coastal Carolina lose by 50 to Alabama. That's going to make us all happy. Oregon get beat up by 28. I think Alabama would rather play Oregon than their typical SEC schedule, which they would be playing down the stretch of the season, which ultimately was a college football playoff game.
Alabama
had college football playoff games. Some of them were in September. Some of them were in October. But people aren't dumb enough to realize that every sport has to be the same. We have to invite everybody to the postseason. Everybody needs a second chance in sports. So I guess this is, the opportunity. I get it. Everybody needs a second chance in life. We love that. But sports can be different every once in a while. I kind of like the idea that, you know what? You've got to be the best team all year long to be the national champion. It's the only sport that could say that until now.
Well, you know what? Alabama could probably beat the Jets and the Jaguars. So I'm just letting you know, man. That team is unbelievable, man. But, you're right, man. They are looking towards that type of aspect. Power 5 conferences. You mean you're going to get that? You're going to get that now.
There's no doubt. There's definitely going to be load management coming. Look, I'll be into it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm not going to be a college football fan. I think college football has got bigger issues with what the Supreme Court has been ruling of late. So we'll see how that shakes out. It might be the haves and the have-nots in college football and college basketball. Once things start to change a little bit, I definitely think athletes should be able to reap the benefit of their image and likeness. And that's a matter of time. But I wonder where else we're going to end up going with this. It seems like the ball is really moving now. We'll see. And I wonder if more of these college athletes will start to go to the G League in college basketball. College football, they'll probably be all right. I don't know where else you go. You're still the NFL is not going to let you in at the age of 18, nor should they physically. I don't know if you're ready.
Yeah,
college is going to be interesting.
You got the G League. We got a couple guys in this lottery that are G League players, and now they're going to have that high school league, or for guys that even in high school. What's that? Kevin Ollie, I think, is part of that. That's going to start next year. So the whole structure's changing, but we got to let Tom get back to cut the rest of his lawn. We appreciate all this great stuff from the NBA, a little college football. You got to listen to him on NBA radio, on Sirius XM, and also Mad Dog Sports Radio. Great stuff, Tom. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Tom.
Anytime. Really appreciate
there he
you
is.
guys. Thank you.
All right, now we got one more hour to go. That was a fast hour, Barrett.
Way too fast, man. Way too fast.
We got a couple minutes. We'll be right back at the top. We got Jason Martinez coming your way in hour number 2. And also, I'm going to play this video. Our buddy John Boy, who we had on a couple of months ago now at the start of the baseball season, gave a great narration to the circus act that went on last night at Citizens Bank Park with Scherzer and Girardi. You're going to want to see this. We'll play that when we come back.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. The savoring taste of a good bag of beef jerky is so enjoyable at any time of the day, as long as you can find it. Here's what we suggest. Pure Bull Beef Jerky is our answer, and soon it will be yours. Locally produced in the Philadelphia region, this high-quality, healthy protein snack is easy to secure. Go to steersnacks.com, and you'll see hot garlic, tropical heat, Pure Bull dry rub, and our favorite, Huck and Fod. What's that? Huck and Fod. Go now to steersnacks.com.
In the Wildwoods, our free beaches are spacious and welcoming with plenty of room to spread out. Your seat will be waiting for you when you're ready to visit. The Wildwoods, creating cherished family memories for generations.
Attention women of South Jersey and the Delaware Valley. Sign up right now with Our Lady NRA instructor Nayara Andrzak, who will teach you gun safety as part of this 3-hour safety class, which is being held at Delaware Valley Sports Center in Philadelphia. For information, drop an email to info@DelawareValleySportsCenter.com. That's info@DelawareValleySportsCenter.com. Learn the fundamentals at Delaware Valley Sports Center. You can't miss.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out Book It Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the Book It Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the Book It Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on Book It.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 98, is a proud sponsor of The Labor Show with J. and Krause every Saturday night from 6 till 8 p.m. IBEW Local 98's highly trained and superbly skilled electricians are the best in the business, setting the highest safety standards in the electrical industry. So when you're planning your next industrial, commercial, or residential project, choose an IBEW Local 98 union contractor. Learn more at IBEW98.org.
And we're back, hour number 2 on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel, The Middle with Harry Mays and Barrett Brooks. And I don't think we're going to be joined by Shander today. I haven't seen any texts of him saying that he's able to come on. I don't even know if we sent him the link today.
We shouldn't have. I mean, he's got more pertinent stuff that he needs to worry about. So, let him go ahead and enjoy his son, man.
Yeah.
Just enjoy his son.
Well, now I'm getting word from Xander that we may not be able to play this video because Xander's in Florida somewhere, and apparently the Wi-Fi at the hotel that he's staying at is being worked on. Everybody's got Wi-Fi issues. I know the hotel that he's staying at. It's like a 5-star hotel.
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean you got Wi-Fi issues?
Yeah, nothing but the best for Xan now.
Seriously. Yeah, he's probably in a penthouse somewhere.
Right.
Penthouse with no Wi-Fi. Jesus. But anyway, I saw this morning, and of course I was watching the NBA stuff last night and the hockey. I didn't even turn on the Phillies. And they lost to the Nationals last night, I guess. And Scherzer was on the mound. And of course, about this sticky stuff going on with baseball. Now they're all after the pitchers. Apparently, these guys use all kinds of different combinations of like sunscreen and which I wasn't aware of. Sunscreen and rosin apparently is one of the things that they typically use just to get a grip on the baseball.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. It's almost like they had the sandpaper and all that.
Yeah.
What I mean?
Well, I don't know. I don't know is it really cheating if everybody's doing it and the hitters were aware of it anyway. I mean, some of these hitters I've heard are okay with it because they don't want these guys losing their grip on the baseball. They don't want to get hit.
Right.
Some guy's throwing 99 at you and he doesn't have a good grip on the baseball. I wouldn't want to stand in that box either.
No question.
Right?
Man. But, it's not allowed. So, they're not supposed to do it. At this point, it doesn't really matter, man. They're going to find a way, So I guess he was rubbing his hair or something like that.
Well, yeah, they checked him 3 times. The umpires checked him 3 times after he got, guys out at the plate, whatever. They're checking his hands. He's showing, no, I'm good. Finally, Girardi notices him taking his hat off and going into his hair. And he doesn't have a lot of hair. Okay. He's losing his hair. Scherzer is. He's like a sweaty mess out there, right? Right. And he's going through his hair, and Girardi notices, and Girardi gets up on the top step and basically gets the umpires to go out and check him again. And now he's like he's really pissed off. Like, are you serious? Right. Like, you think I got pine tar in my hair? Like, what is that? It was a joke. And then, Girardi, they started yelling at one another. It was an absolute circus. And it also occurred in the A's game last night with this Sergio Romo, who you might remember him when he was with the Giants in the World Series in the playoffs. He's a really good pitcher for the Giants, relief pitcher.
Right.
The ump comes up to him and he starts taking his pants off. He's literally he starts undoing his belt, and the ump is like, no. It's okay. He takes his pants off. Like, go ahead, check my underwear. I don't, I got nothing down there. I don't have bullfrog sunscreen on my scrotum. Okay. I'm good. Like, it's a total joke.
Bro, you don't really comprehend all the stuff. Even in football, man, they do the same thing. It used to be, they used to have this spray, this sticky spray the receivers used to put their hands on, and it got so bad that they couldn't touch their uniforms, because if they fall, there'd be the dust and everything, and dirt would stay on their jerseys because they had so much stickum on. Or defensive linemen would spray the silicone stuff on their jersey to make it like so you couldn't grab them, slide your hand, slide off. And they try everything strategically to try to gain an advantage when you're out on the field, man. So I mean, hey, if it happens, it ain't cheating. You know, if you ain't cheating, what is that saying?
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Yeah, there it is. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Not
trying. Long day already, man.
But I tell you, it got so bad. Like there's a coach for the Nationals who used to be with Girardi with the Yankees years ago. Okay, they know each other, they're friends. And it got so bad that both of those guys were yelling at one another in each dugout. You know, all kinds of, F-bombs and all this stuff. So that's when Girardi walked out. A lot of people think he was going after Scherzer. He wasn't. He was going after the other coach.
Yeah, his friend.
Basically calling him out on the field like, let's go. It was a circus. And then they threw Girardi out.
Well, you want to have a competitive edge. He wanted to stop a competitive edge. I mean, these days, there has to be something going on anyways, man, with the way these guys are pitching these days. All these no-hitters that are going on.
Yeah.
The average is down like 20%, for batters. There's got to be something going on.
Well, it's also the way they bring these hitters up to hit, too. They don't care about just contact. They just want them to swing for home runs.
Right. There's no small ball now. Trying to get guys on base and all. They don't have that anymore. So, I mean, it's hurting the game in all actuality.
It has
really hurt the game.
I mean, I don't pay attention to it anymore. I got to be honest with you. This is the only thing that got me to pay attention to it. I wish we could play it because the narration is hilarious to go along with the video. It's a circus.
Well, man, you got to understand, man. The batters just aren't. I mean, we can't score anything. The Phillies can't score. They can't pitch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is going to be a 500 team. There's no way I can see them making the playoffs right now. No way.
Not making the playoffs. No shot. All right. So since we can't play that, I thought I'd go to this because Barrett loves any excuse to talk a little football. And I saw, by the way, we're going to do more over-unders in overtime. I don't think we're going to have Parles today because I don't have any way to get in touch with him.
Right.
That was all Eytan that used to do that. So we'll do more over-unders in overtime. Do you know who else was doing the over-unders?
Who's that?
Birds 365.
Oh, they came and got you, huh?
I go to the JAKIB Media YouTube page every day after the show just to see what everybody else is doing. And Dan Cilio's on there. He's going to join us tomorrow on the show. But I noticed that Birds 365 over-unders. And I'm like, what is this? I went on there. Sure enough, same ones.
Wow.
Now, to their credit, I think they gave Brandon Lee Gouton and Jimmy Kempski the credit. So It wasn't like they stole them and didn't give the credit.
Wow.
But I thought that was kind of funny. But do you see the stuff that Kempski does every year? He does this, like why your team will be a dumpster fire.
No. I mean, why, man?
Well, he goes through each team in the division. Okay, now today's was Washington football team. He gives 10 reasons why this team will be a dumpster fire.
Give me number one.
All right, this thing's not loading. I feel like I'm in Xander's hotel room right now with the Wi-Fi. All right, here we go. Number one for Washington. A division rival had to disgrace itself for this trash team to get into the playoffs.
Wow.
Okay, last year, of course, they made the playoffs at under 500. They had a very good defense, got into the playoffs, but really, did anybody really need an NFC East team in the playoffs last year?
We should have just took the year off and not sent anybody.
Exactly.
Wow, that is messed up, man. Because we're the worst team in the division, and they were the disgrace to even go into it. That's terrible, man.
All right, number two. I know that he's a national treasure, and it's hearsay to say anything negative about him. But let's be honest, Ryan Fitzpatrick is just the next in a long line of mediocre WFT quarterbacks. So he's out on the beard.
Right. Come on, man.
How good do you think he could be for them? Because, I mean, he's been a backup and a journeyman for a reason.
That dude's like 50 years old, man.
Do you think he's all of a sudden going to turn into Rich Gannon with the Raiders? Like he was late in his career.
No, he's not gonna he's not gonna be good at all. Period. They're gonna go to that young guy that played in the playoffs against Tampa Bay. That's where they're gonna go.
Oh yeah,
yeah. They're gonna go with him, guaranteed.
Wow, I even forget his name.
Right, he was a pretty good athlete. He took us for. Well, he definitely took Tampa Bay for a run.
Yeah. All right, here's number 3. The offensive tackles are highly suspect on the Washington football team.
They used to be great. They had
Trent Williams and Morgan Moses. Yeah.
Yeah, Moses pretty good. Moses from Virginia.
Well, that's how he starts. Once upon a time, they had Trent Williams at left and Morgan Moses at right. That was a really good tandem. In 2020, they'll have Charles Leno, a guy cut by the Bears.
Yeah.
It was a rookie second-round pick, Sam Cosmi at right tackle.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He was like one of the top first rounder from Texas.
Oh, is that where he? Okay. Yeah. Did they just draft him?
They just drafted him.
Okay.
Cosmi pretty good, and Leno's pretty good.
Leno's good?
Yeah.
Why'd the Bears get rid of him?
He's making too much money.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was making too much money. He's been there for a long time.
All right, number 4, Scott Turner, his first year as offensive coordinator. And then he puts right after that in parentheses, fart noise.
Fart noise. I don't know what he's gonna do, man. I can't judge him, man. He might be all right. His pops was pretty good, but I don't know if he's gonna be all right.
His dad was good.
Yeah.
All right, number 5, we can identify with this. The linebackers aren't great.
That's crazy because I think they will be great.
For the Eagles or for the Redskins?
For the
Redskins. The Washington football team.
Yeah. They'll be pretty good. I mean, they got two first rounders. No, 3 first rounders at linebacker. Well, they're not really they're actually rush ins.
Right.
But they're, I guess, yeah, they'll be pretty good.
All right, number 6, Montez Sweat, SMH. I guess he's
one of the good linebackers, or
he's a pass rusher. Yeah,
yeah.
He's talking about his viewpoint on the vaccine, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I don't really know about that. Yeah. Number 7, they used a 5th-round pick to draft a long snapper.
Well, I mean, the need is there. They got to go get it. We got lucky. Who's our punter? In all actuality,
I have no idea.
I don't even know who our punter is. Wow.
You should know that.
Right.
Yeah. All right, number 8. Now, this is legit. Some of these are obviously a little bit of sarcasm. Number 8, they're going to have a first-place schedule.
How are they going to have a first-place schedule?
Well, because they finished in first place, the Washington football team, even though they were under 500. So they're going to have a first-place schedule with tough opponents on it.
Right.
Are you okay? Are you okay today? Can you hear me?
That doesn't make sense to me because we're all going to play the same opponents.
Yeah, but they got NFC East team.
Yeah,
they're going to play the Packers, Seahawks, and Bills.
Right.
The Eagles play the Lions and the Niners and the Jets.
Right.
So Packers, Seahawks, Bills. That's tough.
That's really tough.
Yeah.
And we have the Lions, the 49ers, and the Jets.
Yeah, we have the Lions, Niners, and Jets. I mean, like Dallas has the Vikings, Cardinals, and Patriots.
That's pretty tough too.
Yeah, that could be, depending on where those games are. The Giants have the Bears, Rams, and Dolphins. Yeah,
that's pretty tough.
That's not easy either.
Right.
But Packers, Seahawks, Bills. I mean, those are 3 teams that could go to the Super Bowl.
3 really good playoff teams from last year.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're right.
All right, now here he goes, 9. This is legit too, and you know this because you know this since 2004. There hasn't been a repeat NFC East champion. That's hard to believe.
Right. That's legit too. You know,
It is.
even the Birds, you know, the year they won the Super Bowl, that next year, they didn't win the division. So yeah, you're right, man.
Yeah, I mean, he detailed every year, and it's amazing. Like it
You're
looks like,
absolutely right.
you know, I mean, obviously, no, the last time the Eagles won it was 2019. Before that, 2017. Then you got to go all the way back to 2013, which was Chip's first year.
Yeah,
for the Eagles.
But isn't that hard to believe that a team just won the Super Bowl, didn't go into the next year and win the division? That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. I mean, the Giants haven't won this division since 2011, which was the last time they won the Super Bowl.
Wow.
So it's been a long time for them.
Well, they're going to be kind of legit, man. We're sleeping on them. They're going to be legit. Their offense,
so?
Yes. I mean, their offense with the receivers, the way the receivers are put together.
What about the line, though?
They just shorted up a little bit from a draft pick. Let me look up their offensive line. They just shorted up a little bit. So,
well, number 10 here, as we're going to just finish up the Washington football team, and as always, Daniel Snyder is still the owner.
Bam.
There you go.
That's it right there. That's it. You know, said drop the mic there. He's
that's
still that
legit.
guy. Yeah, they're absolutely right.
Right.
But yeah, looking at the Giants, man. I'm looking at the Giants. They look all right, man. Their offensive line looks all right too.
Well, we got the dumpster fire for the Giants too.
Right.
We got 10 reasons.
You got it for the Giants too?
Oh yeah.
Let me see that one.
I'm doing some homework here, man. You know, Jimmy Kempski puts this together every year. I always get a kick out of it. All right. Number 1 reason the Giants will be a dumpster fire. They're crybaby losers. Since 2017, the Giants are tied for the worst record in the NFL with the Jets.
Wow.
At 18-46. I didn't know that.
Me neither.
Yeah, he's got every team broken out. Since 2017. Going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. Yes, Giants are 18-46, tied with the Jets. Right in front of them are the Bengals, who are 19-44-1.
Wow.
Yeah.
19-44-1.
That's the Bengals.
And that one.
That tie was with the Eagles, wasn't it? Yes.
Last year.
Yeah, the Eagles are 35-28-1 in that period of time. So 7 games over 500 since 2017.
That's ridiculous. Totally ridiculous.
Do you know who has the best record?
The Eagles?
No, the best. I'm not saying the division, overall in the NFL.
You know what? It'd probably still be the Patriots still.
They're actually 4th. The Saints.
Oh, yeah.
49-15.
Damn.
And they haven't been in a Super Bowl recently.
Right.
Isn't that amazing?
Right.
The Chiefs.
They won't be now.
No.
They don't have a quarterback. Who's going to be their starting quarterback? They don't even know.
Jameis.
You think it's going to be Jameis? Even though they gave the other kid a $100 million contract?
Yeah, their Swiss Army knife guy.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are 48-16, so they're 1 game behind them. That's pretty wild.
They got Saquon Barkley, man. I mean, people they're not realizing how good that kid is. He's a thoroughbred, man. Even after his injury, he's going to be pretty good.
All right, number 2, second reason the Giants will be a dumpster fire. Daniel Jones just isn't very good.
Yeah. He whooped our ass, though. But, yeah, he's not going to be very good.
In his 2 NFL seasons, Jones leads the NFL in turnovers with 39.
Wow. Carson's close, though.
And he missed 6 starts. So the third reason the Giants will be a dumpster fire, here it is. The offensive line still stinks.
Well, they got the kid that got in the first round, Thomas from
Andrew Thomas from Georgia.
Yeah, from Georgia. I thought he was pretty good.
You thought he was good?
Yeah, I thought he was
Georgia or with the Giants?
At Georgia.
Okay.
At Georgia, I thought he was pretty good. And then I like their right tackle. I mean, their right guard,
Hernandez from UTEP.
He's from like UTEP.
Yeah.
I thought he was pretty good.
They got Shane Lemieux at left guard, Nick Gates at center, and Matt Pert, not Neil Pert, at right tackle. Pert.
Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, they're gonna be bad. They're gonna be bad.
And number 4, he questions whether Saquon Barkley will ever be the same again.
What?
Well, I guess after the injury.
Well, he will be. So we need to take that question away.
You think so?
Yeah, he's gonna be good. We all gonna see him.
He's a workout warrior. That guy.
Yep. You should saw the kid in college, man, squatting like 700 some pounds.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
That is out of control.
Yeah.
All right, and here's a good one. Number 5, Jason Garrett is still the offensive coordinator.
Now, you guys are always on my boy Jason.
And he's got a stick figure of him clapping his hands.
That's what he used to do.
Yeah, the clapper. That was phenomenal. I kind of missed the clapper in Dallas.
Right.
I mean, McCarthy's he's a bore.
He's not very good either.
No.
So that's our saving grace. I know that's going to be one of his when they do the Dallas one. That's going to be one of his 5 reasons they're a dumpster fire. 10 reasons there's dumpster fire.
Oh, no doubt about it. Yeah. Number 6, 5 of the Giants' 6 wins were against backup or otherwise trash quarterbacks. They beat Kyle Allen and Alex Smith with Washington football team.
Right.
Carson Wentz with the Eagles.
Absolutely.
Trash. Brandon Allen with the Bengals.
Trash.
Russell Wilson. What?
What is now? Well, we can take that off. Russell Wilson trash.
Put Russell Wilson in there.
No.
And Andy Dalton with the Cowboys.
Oh, he was trash. Ginger was trash.
Well, yeah, he says 5 of their 6. So he's
okay.
saying that, Russell Wilson. That's my bad.
Yeah.
We should also note here that the Giants also lost to Mitch Trubisky, Nick Mullins, and Carson Wentz. That is pretty telling.
Carson was I can't believe Carson was that bad, man. Now that you think he should not have been awful. That bad, man. I know, man, but he shouldn't have been that bad, bro.
Yeah,
there's no way he should have been I mean, he was just horrible. Nothing he did was right, man. Couldn't get right at all.
Number 7, their rookie first-round pick already skipped OTAs.
What?
Kadarius Toney, I guess, skipped their OTA, the rookie.
Do what?
I don't know. Maybe he had to go pick out sconces. Remember that?
Yeah. What was his name? Kelly.
He was a defensive back.
Yeah, the DB from the bank. No,
he was with the Ravens. Wasn't he with the Ravens before that? Yep. And then he went to Seattle.
Carry something. Carry.
Yes.
Yeah, Carry. Yep.
The stream will get it.
Yep. Yeah. And then they actually wanted Smith. They were going to draft Smith.
Kerry Williams, 91 LSXers had it first.
Yep.
Yeah, good job.
Kerry Williams.
Yeah, we did a couple days on that back in the old station.
Go pick sconces out. Yep. Yeah, you're right.
Pick out sconces. All right, number 8. It's a good question for you. Who are the Giants' edge rushers?
Oh.
Leonard Williams is in the interior.
Yeah, he is in the interior.
It's a mix of Lorenzo Carter, Ifedi Adenigbo, Ryan Anderson, and O'Shane. I don't know these names. Where do all these people come up with these crazy names? Ximines is a guy's last name. I got no idea. Is that how you pronounce it? All right. Yeah. And a couple of rookies. Combined sacks from all those guys in 2020 was 4.5. That's not a lot of production.
Not at all. Ryan Anderson was pretty good. He's from the Washington football team. First rounder from
he was an Alabama guy, wasn't he? Yeah,
from Alabama. Yeah. But he never played a full season as rush in. He played linebacker, but not rush in.
The Giants would rather have Devontae Smith than their trade back package.
I was just saying that too.
Yeah, he's probably right about that.
Yeah.
Wait, is there some new idea that Dave Gettleman is a good GM now? That's number 10.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Now, they signed Galladay, obviously, in the offseason, a 4-year deal worth $72 million with $40 million guaranteed.
Yeah, he's worth it, though. He's worth it.
And Adoree Jackson, they signed him to a 3-year deal.
He was pretty good. He was from
Tennessee. Yeah.
USC guy. He was pretty good, man.
And Kyle Rudolph. I always like Kyle Rudolph for some
He's
reason.
really good from Minnesota.
Yeah.
He's one of the top tight ends in the league.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's pretty good. Consider the fact they still have their old tight end. Then they have him. I mean, their offense is going to be okay if their offensive line just plays a little bit, beyond what they've played in the past.
Right.
They just got to give them a little bit of effort, and they're going to be all right, man. So they still got Evan Ingram.
Yeah, Evan Ingram from Ole Miss.
Yeah, so he's still a good one. If he can stay healthy, he's one of the top tight ends also, but he can never stay healthy. They got, Saquon Barkley at tailback. Then the receivers, man. Darius Slayton is a guy that's probably Daniel Jones's most favorite target. You know what I mean? He was always wide open all the time. Then they had Kellen Galladay. They still have Sterling Shepard. And then they got John Ross from
Cincinnati.
Bengals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he never did anything.
Nothing. But he was a 4-2 guy.
Yeah, he can run fast. Yeah.
That's usually what it is.
Right.
But can't catch. But then they got Kadarius Toney. Yep.
Straight line speed. Now, I don't know why Joey B is putting up Parles hat odds up on the stream. I think he just loves doing it. I got no way to get in touch with Parles.
Yeah, we don't have all the equipment.
Right.
To bring him on. So, I mean, if he had his email, we probably could have sent the open for him, but I don't know if he really wants to come on.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? He might be with his girlfriend this weekend. All right, the number one reason that the Cowboys will be a dumpster fire. It's now over a quarter century, Barrett, since the Cowboys' last Super Bowl.
That's just music.
Isn't that unbelievable?
Music to my ears.
25 years.
Wow. That's why when they had the the draft in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
The last time the Cowboys were in the Super Bowl, none of their draft picks were even born.
Oh yeah, that's great. Oh, I understand now. I'm seeing this on the stream. It's not Parles' hat. It's from Mertidis' hat.
Oh, okay.
Oh, all right. A Black Sabbath hat is 44-1.
What if he walks up with a hockey mask?
Yeah,
that should be a hockey mask.
What's another one? CCM or Bauer are front runners. Yeah, I tend to. CCM he gets for free.
What's CCM?
It's a hockey equipment company. Yeah, he gets everything. CCM is all free stuff, and he's all about free.
Oh, no question. No. There's no question about that.
Now, in this part of the piece where he says they haven't been in the Super Bowl or haven't had a Super Bowl in 25 years, he puts down the teams in the NFC and their number of NFC championship game appearances. Do you know who has been to the most in those 25 years? Just NFC championship games.
Ooh, I know the Eagles. The Eagles are probably up there. I think
close.
The Eagles had the most.
No, they're second.
They're second. Who has more?
The Packers.
Okay.
Have 8 because you had the Favre-Rodgers crossover.
Right.
Yeah, they have 8. The Eagles had 6. Have 6.
Right. That's when they've had a bunch of years where they've been in.
Andy got to 5.
Yep. That's 5 by himself.
Yeah, and then the Niners have 5, followed by the Falcons, Panthers, and Vikings, all with 4.
Don't the Rams have 4?
Rams have 3.
Okay.
Yeah, according to this. All right, so number 2.
The Saints probably got 4 too, don't they?
The Saints have 3.
They went to the playoffs. I mean, they went to the Super Bowl once, the championship game twice.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was 3 times.
They got 3 NFC championship game appearances.
Wow.
Yep. Dak Prescott is back, but the Cowboys still stunk last year before he got hurt. It was only a couple of games, but
I don't know, man. I mean, that offense, man. Say what you want to say. They have 3 of the best wide receivers in the league playing together.
Uh-huh. So, and now Zeke is supposed to be back in better shape, right? And weren't you saying that last week?
Yeah, he's supposed to be. He's not on that island kicking it like he did,
Yeah.
before his contract.
All right, we'll get back to this. We're going to have to take a timeout. We're looking to be joined by Jason Mertidis on the other side. We'll talk a little hockey, a little Stanley Cup playoffs, and Flyers off season and anything else with Jason. We can always get into baseball. He loves to rail on baseball, and I'm sure he has a take on that farce that took place down at Citizens Bank Park last night. You're listening to The Middle on the JAKIB Media YouTube page. Harry Mays and Barrett Brooks will be back in a few.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. The savoring taste of a good bag of beef jerky is so enjoyable at any time of the day, as long as you can find it. Here's what we suggest. Pure Bull Beef Jerky is our answer, and soon it will be yours. Locally produced in the Philadelphia region, this high-quality, healthy protein snack is easy to secure. Go to steersnacks.com, and you'll see hot garlic, tropical heat, Pure Bull dry rub, and our favorite, Huck and Fod. What's that? Huck and Fod. Go now to steersnacks.com.
In the Wildwoods, our free beaches are spacious and welcoming with plenty of room to spread out. Your seat will be waiting for you when you're ready to visit. The Wildwoods, creating cherished family memories for generations.
Attention women of South Jersey and the Delaware Valley. Sign up right now with Our Lady NRA instructor Nayara Andrzak, who will teach you gun safety as part of this 3-hour safety class, which is being held at Delaware Valley Sports Center in Philadelphia. For information, drop an email to info@DelawareValleySportsCenter.com. That's info@DelawareValleySportsCenter.com. Learn the fundamentals at Delaware Valley Sports Center. You can't miss.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out JAKIB Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the JAKIB Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the JAKIB Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on Book It.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 98, is a proud sponsor of The Labor Show with J. Doc and Krause every Saturday night from 6 till 8 p.m. IBEW Local 98's highly trained and superbly skilled electricians are the best in the business, setting the highest safety standards in the electrical industry. So when you're planning your next industrial, commercial, or residential project, choose an IBEW Local 98 union contractor. Learn more at IBEW98.org.
There he is. We are back for the final half hour of hour number 2 on the JAKIB Media YouTube page. The Middle with Harry Mays and Barrett Brooks. Of course, Eytan off today, off the rest of this week. And I guess I'm not sure you know this yet, Jason. We're joined by Jason Martinez, of course, Flyers honk and expert, and and Mr. Hockey actually is what I call him. But I don't know if you're aware of this, Jason. Eytan's little baby boy came into the world last night. His name is Edward Teddy Isaac Shander, and he came in at 9:29 last night, 7 pounds and 4 ounces.
Oh, man. Wow. Congrats to Eytan.
Teddy Shander.
Teddy Shander. Yeah, wow.
You don't have to do much, man. You got me laughing already, man.
Teddy Shan.
By the way, me and Barrett are shooting a double mint commercial later on today with our shirts.
Oh, my God. What is going on? I'll tell you.
I put on a hat because I think the people in the comments section were betting what my hat would say.
Yeah.
I think Motorhead was 99-1.
Is that what you got on there? Because I can't really read it.
USA Hockey.
Oh, USA Hockey. Ah, jeez.
I didn't have one, but when I saw that they were putting wagers down, I figured I better put one on. Nobody had the easy 3-1 odds of no hat.
Black Sabbath was 44-1.
I don't know that I've ever seen a Black Sabbath hat.
I think Lamb of God was on there too.
Yeah, I don't rock the metal hat.
No,
that's gauche.
Yeah,
it's what?
I mean, do people rock hats of bands? Like you got the nice ping hat on.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I've ever seen anybody with like an AC/DC hat or something.
Yeah, it's not something you generally wear.
Right.
You know what's vogue now to have T-shirts of bands. Even black guys wear T-shirts of rock bands now, bro.
Yeah, like the vintage ones,
like the old concert T-shirts.
Yep, the old diver down shirt, Harry, with the 3/4 white sleeves and black shirt.
Absolutely, man. I had probably 20 of those in my drawer. All the concerts I went to in my senior year of high school.
What's that skull head? What's that skull head that they, one they had like going down the middle like a design?
Well, it's Grateful Dead.
Grateful Dead.
That's the Grateful Dead.
I got one of those and a Metallica one, and a Metallica one, I got from a Big and Tall Mess for DXL.
I had my Grateful Dead shirt on yesterday. It's got the Flyer logo on it, and it's spaced out at the Spectrum from '89, the show in '89.
Is that right?
Spaced out at the Spectrum. It's a great shirt.
That was pretty much every Flyers game this year, spaced out at the Spectrum.
Yeah, only they weren't at the Spectrum. Maybe they were at the Spectrum, Harry. That was part of the problem, right?
Well, I want to get to the Flyers too, and we talk a little NHL playoffs. How about this Montreal Canadiens team? What are they up to? They're up 3 games. They got what 3-2 on Vegas after last night's win. Carey Price has raised his level significantly in the playoffs. The Vegas power play is 0 for 15 in the series. This is amazing.
They've killed off 23 straight power plays.
Incredible.
Montreal has. That's the longest streak in the playoffs since 1933. That's how incredible that is, right? They haven't given up a power play goal, I think, since Game 3 or Game 4 against Toronto. Wow. They didn't give up any against Winnipeg, who they just swept out of there unceremoniously. And then they get up against this Vegas team, and it's really got to kind of put things into a different perspective when you're building a team. What's going to have success in the regular season versus what has success in the playoffs, and that goes in all sports, mind you.
Sixers
the NBA
too.
As well.
Yeah.
You have to consider that when you build a team. The Canadians in the regular season got in with the worst record of any team. They were 1 point ahead of the Flyers in the standings.
Wow.
58 points, Flyers at 57. So, and it just goes to show you that you're not as far off as you think you are, because they made some savvy moves and they weren't splashy. They went out and they got Corey Perry nobody wanted him, passed through waivers last year, right?
Yeah.
They get Eric Stahl, who's 106 years old. Both have won cups. And they went out and they got Tyler Toffoli, who won 2 cups in LA and had a great year, and it changed everything. They're a team built for the playoffs because they defend well. They're big on the blue line. They got good goaltending. Price didn't have a great season, but he's turned it up here.
Great in the playoffs.
Yeah, and how you watch him, and you watch opposition teams, and he is so in their head. They're trying to make the perfect shot.
They block shots too.
Yeah. And they shoot so many shots wide because they're trying to be perfect against Price because he's got their brains tied into pretzel. So I sent the other night to Boosh when they won game 1. I said, "Oh, Montreal going to the finals," and he's like, "No way." And I texted him last night. I just said, "Le habitant," and he's like, "I can't believe it. I think you were right."
This Cole Caulfield kid too has had a pretty good playoffs. The rookie.
Yeah, he's a dynamic player. He's a really good offensive player. He's going to get exposed in other areas of the game that a lot of people won't notice because you notice the offensive elements of his game. But he's a great scorer, and he's a better playmaker than people think. He's undersized, but it doesn't matter. He's scored at every level.
Wisconsin Badger program.
Yeah, well, played at the US NTDP, as a matter of fact, for USA Hockey for many years, the National Team Development Program, and Flyers passed up on him twice.
Oh man, I'll tell you. And the other series, Tampa wins 8-0 in the last. I mean, can the Islanders come back from that?
Yeah, I think that helps them coming back from 8-0. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It just counts as one game, right? I think it'd be worse. Barrett, you played professional sports. I think it'd be worse to lose a heartbreak game where you outplayed them and you lost than it is to get crushed 8-0. I think the 8-0 helps them going forward.
Well, yeah, because then it's just like, all right, well, you guys got us that time, but it's not like you're gonna do this over and over.
That's not who we are.
Yeah, we messed up right then. We slept on you, but hey, you're gonna get a better game out of us next time.
Well, you know what it does too? It makes everything the coaches say have more resonance.
Oh, they're gonna listen.
Yeah,
they can get in your rear end now.
Oh yeah, there's no. Hey, we played a good game and we lost. We outplayed them and we lost. That sucks. You get beat 8-0. Everything's going to be tighter. Every detail of the game will be tighter when you get the crap beat out of you by a team. So
and plus,
expect a tight game tonight.
Well, realistically, you're like, all right, we're not as bad as an 8-0 win.
No, and you get your backup about it too, right?
Right. You're like, oh, I'm pissed. I mean, same thing happened to me the year I won the Super Bowl. We lost to Indianapolis team. I mean, they beat the snot out of us on a Monday night. They beat us up physically. National stage. We were embarrassed, man. In fact, we went home. We're flying home on that Monday night. Nobody went home. We went straight to the stadium, had a team meeting. Joey Porter gets up and says, hey, if you don't believe we can win the Super Bowl, then get the hell out now. Look at that. Coaches, y'all get the hell out now. I got to talk to these boys. Kick the coaches out of the room. He gave one of them speeches like, that once you go out there and eat, gunpowder and hot sauce. He had us hyped. We want to go out there and practice immediately. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then called the coaches in and told them, asked each one of them faces, if you don't believe we can win, you can get the hell out too.
Wow. What do you think would be the best series, the final series between these four that we have left?
I mean, the best series from a hockey standpoint would be Vegas
and Tampa.
Yeah. I mean, the Islanders play a bit of a boring brand of hockey for a lot of people. It's not up and down. It's very structured, and that's what Barry Trotz does. But I mean, the most exciting would be those two teams, the two highest pedigree teams going head to head. But I just don't think Vegas is getting there. I think Tampa's getting there. I think it's going to be an interesting final too. If it's Tampa versus this Canadian team. I mean, the Canadian team hasn't won the Cup. This is crazy since '93.
That's when Montreal. That was Leclerc's team, right?
Yeah, and that's also the team that Patrick Roy's second Cup. His first was in '86. I mean. They just haven't won cups. They've gotten there a few times. Edmonton got there, lost to Carolina.
Wasn't Desjardins on that team too?
He was, yeah, Rico.
How about that?
Yeah, and you look at it and you go, okay, Calgary got there against Tampa back in 2004. None of them have won, and this team just got some magic dust going on with it. And Carey Price, this is the closest he's ever been to a Cup final. Except when he was on the 2010 team that lost to the Flyers, but he wasn't the starter anymore with that team. It was Jaro Halak. So I think it's going to be interesting. But, to kind of bring it full circle, it makes you question what you're going to do to build a team. Every Flyer fan wants them to go out and grab these big splashy names. And there's a lot of them, and a lot of them make sense. But look how the jump from the year before AV got here to AV's first year. They had 3 players. Kevin Hayes, not the most dynamic player, was a good ad.
Yeah.
Matt Niskanen, who a lot of people thought was washed, and Tyler Pitlick on the 4th line. And look at the jump they made.
Right.
So you're not as far as you think. You just have to make the right moves. But I think there's going to be significant change.
Well, I was thinking that in the first place, when it comes to the Flyers, man, because I thought, the guys that they had, that they drafted, bringing up through the system, are finally starting to. I thought they were finally going to start to come into their own, but at this point, Patrick hasn't came full circle yet. Ghost.
He might have to
go. What's going on?
I think both of those might be gone.
Yeah.
Konechny, he's
big disappointment.
Right. So I mean, they were supposed to be the guys who were supposed to get this, this new rush of youth into the organization and get them going. I don't see it happening, man. So, I mean, Farabee, he's doing this thing now. Guys that weren't in the organization, but Farabee's starting to do what he's supposed to do now. So I mean, I don't know, man.
What direction they going? Yeah, there's a lot of question marks, and it puts everybody on the table. When GM calls and asks about a guy, you don't hang up the phone when he brings up any names. I don't think. What I mean? You don't go, dude, I'm out of here. See ya, click. And you're right. Konechny was a guy that was on a 30-goal pace the year into the pandemic. He had 24 in 69 games, but the bubble he wasn't good. Didn't score this year. He was erratic at best. Sanheim and Myers were extremely erratic. Everybody had a kind of collective down year at the same time. I don't know if it became contagious or what.
Yeah. I mean, what happened to Provorov? You know what I'm saying? I mean, defensively,
it didn't have
that guy.
That top pairing's like offensive line. If you have to play with the same guy,
they were chemistry.
The moment, like, you got to know that, okay, I'm taking the puck up the left side of my ice in my D zone into pressure. I got to know the guys either behind the net, the bottom of the circle, and you can't think about it. You can't look. If you look, now you're dead. You know, you got to know where your guy is next to you on the offensive line. It's all chemistry.
Yeah. I'm right guard. We see this linebacker coming. We know we got to pass the stunt off, and you do it without thinking because you know you've played with this guy the whole time.
You don't have time to think. Yeah,
right.
You're thinking you're dead in pro sports.
All reaction. All reaction.
I mean, he had everybody from Gossesbear to Gustafson to Sanheim to Myers to Justin Braun. All these guys, right, as partners.
Goss and Gus.
Yeah, and Gustafson was a gong show when he was here, but he's playing for Montreal now, and they're covering him defensively. They're not putting him in D zone starts, but he's performing well for him.
What is it about this squad though? Year after year after year, you kind of get, you get optimistic. They'll bring in a new guy or whatever. They get a new coach or this or that. The goaltender comes up, he looks good, but there just seems to be a flaw somewhere, like a DNA issue. With the team, like, can you put your finger on? You're as close to as anybody is.
Yeah, I think you use the right term too, Howard. DNA. Yeah, I think in pro sports, like, you have to know each team and players and coaches have to know their identity. And they have to forge it really early, and you can't just make it up. It has to happen organically. And then the other thing is organizational DNA. You have to know what you are, what you're trying to build. And I talk about all the time with Barrett's former team, the team he won a Super Bowl with. With Pittsburgh, they know what their organizational DNA is, so they stick to it. They don't stray from it. They're committed to it, and it works. The Flyers had an organizational DNA. We all know it was the Broad Street Bullies and that rough and tumble thing, and you had to get away from it. But I think they overcorrected the steering wheel. You know what I mean? They course corrected a little too much. Now they don't have any of it, and you need some of it.
They lack identity, huh?
Yeah, they just got to figure out what they are, what they want to be, and be it.
Yeah,
you got to figure out what that is, and you got to figure out what that identity needs to be in today's game. And in today's game, there's a lot of youth and a lot of speed and a lot of skill. But look at the teams that are winning. Look at their blue lines; they're all huge, man.
Big, heavy guys. Yeah. Heavy teams.
Average height of 6'2", 219.
Yeah,
that's their blue lines.
Well, let me ask you this: Is it more so the the people up top that put that culture in, or put that in, or is it the coach himself, the GM himself, the coach?
Well, I mean, a GM, you can't really judge moves for a 3 to 5 years for everything to kind of play through in that league, because you draft guys and they're developing overseas and junior and in the AHL or whatever, so in college. So you can't judge it. That doesn't happen that quickly, but you got to figure out what you are, and you got to build based on it. So there was a period there where they were just drafting young, speedy talent, and they need some more of that grit. You can add that, though, via free agency. That's one of those things you can add. You don't need to develop.
Speaking of free agency, like, what is the next big dates on the hockey calendar? Like, when does all this stuff start? When's the draft? And, free agency, who might be available for them in free agency that they might make a play for?
Well, you have the expansion draft this year as well. So that's part of
the Kraken.
Yeah,
right?
The Kraken are coming in. So, I mean, when you look at it and you go, okay, this summer is going to be different. Our team's going to hold off on signing free agents till after the expansion draft, so they don't have to protect the player. That's part of the equation. When you look at a guy like Ovechkin, that's going to be the case. They're not going to do that. They're not going to sign him until after the expansion draft, because they don't have to protect him. So that's a little kind of like, a loophole almost in it. But the expansion draft is going to happen on the 21st of July.
Okay.
They're going to hand out the cup in about a week later. Teams have to submit their protected list on the 17th of July.
And how many players can they protect?
Well, you're going to protect 1 goalie, 7 forwards, and 3D. Most teams. So, and then the draft is on the 23rd, and free agency period is July 28th. So there's all these elements, and a lot of trades are going to happen around the draft and after the expansion draft and leading into the expansion draft. There's a lot of pent-up action that didn't take place last offseason.
Yeah.
Because GMs in sports, they use the offseason in the draft and those periods to reset their roster. Nobody did last year. Because flat cap, expansion draft looming, and the unknown of what's the equity situation into the league going to happen with a TV contract expiring. When's cap going to rise again? There were so many question marks that nothing happened. So I think you're going to see a lot of pent-up changes this offseason because of what didn't happen last offseason, and the expansion draft will be in the rear view.
Well, you think the Kraken can do like that Vegas team did? Man, that was amazing. That first year, they came out like gangbusters. But they picked all the great talent from each team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, it was weird. they didn't get like a first line. They didn't get premium talent, but they had like 3 second lines. And that depth is a problem for teams. But, before going into this, if we hadn't been coming out of a pandemic, I said, no way Seattle can kind of, really put teams over a barrel. But now that we had the pandemic and the flat cap, they're back in a position to do that because they have the most valued commodity in the NHL, and that's cap space. And they have it. So you got to weaponize it, right? If I'm them, I just stink for a year and I take people's bad contracts and I make them pay to park their bad contracts. And then I own the draft. And I have all this stuff. I take expiring deals. I'll own free agency and I'll move forward for a 10-year period to being able to build a team. But they'll be able to get out of the gate good. They'll be a competitive team again because there's so much talent in the league now and they're going to be able to pluck good players.
Is there a lock great player, like I'm not saying a generational talent, but a great player in this year's draft that's a surefire number 1 pick?
Well, Owen Power's going to be the kid that's going to be number 1. He's a defenseman out of the University of Michigan. Yeah. Played with Cam York there, and they're going to have a couple kids at the top of this draft that were really good defensemen too. So he's going to be the guy. But no, he's not generational. Like I wouldn't put him at that level of. I put him kind of close to that Rasmus Dahlin level. Not at the level of obviously Connor McDavid or Austin Matthews, a notch below.
Okay.
So, yeah, not Rasmus Dahlin.
And where do the Flyers pick? What's their pick?
Well, their pick was 14th, but Arizona had to forfeit their pick because of the shenanigans with bringing players in and violating some protocols in regards to tampering with potential draft picks and working them out. So they're going to pick. They're slated to pick 13th right now. I do not think they'll make that pick. To be honest with you, I think that pick will be traded.
That'll be traded. Okay.
Yeah, I think that'll
do
be.
You think
traded.
they're going to make some big moves here in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah. I mean, they're involved. I listen to guys like Elliot Friedman and Pierre LeBrun and those guys. They don't just put stuff out to. If they put out speculation, they say, "Hey, this is speculation." When they keep saying the Flyers are involved in conversations with every big name guy from Seth Jones to Dougie Hamilton to Jack Eichel. You name it. Anybody that's significant, they're attached to. There's a reason for that. They're attached to them. They're inquiring and they're doing a lot of maneuvering to put themselves in position to strike. So they're going to do something. I don't know what it is, but I think there's going to be significant changes going both ways, coming in and going out.
All right, now promote the podcast because people love your hockey stuff even through the off season.
Yeah, it's
where can they find you?
Flyers Daily. So at Flyers Broadcast Network on Twitter. You find my Twitter handle as well. I tweet it out every day. Yesterday I was just trying to figure out all day, what the heck am I going to talk about? There's nothing going on. So I waited till I got home from my son's practice last night. I saw the Canadians were snot kicking Vegas around the ice. I'm like, there's the ankle. So but we're going to have some scouts coming up. We're going to talk to scouts leading into the draft. We'll talk to general manager and everybody and players and coaches, and we do it all the time. So there's always good content there for the offseason, even though nothing's really happened with the team since they got bounced.
Well, I know you talk about more than hockey on your radio show on the weekends. Did you see what happened at the Phillies game last night?
Yeah, I mean, come on.
What is sport? I mean,
I give them credit for trying, but geez, they misguided.
I mean,
like, what are you doing?
The relief pitcher in Oakland was taking his pants off. Yeah. Did you see that?
I did. And like this whole thing, they can't get out of their own way.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's just so much momentum to tearing down the once great sport and America's pastime that I don't know that you can stop the momentum anymore.
Yeah.
Like, the games this weekend were on Peacock, right? Nobody could find it.
Right, against the Giants, yeah.
I mean, I'm a relatively tech-savvy guy. I don't know how to find Peacock.
No?
And I got to tell you, because it's baseball, I didn't even go looking.
Wow.
You know what I mean? The only Peacock I see is at the zoo.
Well, when you have to pee, you can find it.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's usually not an issue out in the driveway. But yeah, they're a mess. The whole sport's a mess. And again, nothing happening in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. I mean, what are you watching?
Yeah, good point. I'm not.
Yeah, let money
very
tear
few
it down,
are.
Man.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I know the numbers don't say it yet. They will eventually. The sport will be like the 5th or 6th most popular sport in North America.
You know what? Mm-hmm. They're gonna have to go out there and legalize steroids again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That'd be the only way, man, because then you have 70 home runs again. You know what I mean? Stuff like that, bro.
And it's crazy because everybody's trying to hit him now. I mean, how about all the no-hitters in the beginning of the year? Like, they want to put the ball in play more and nobody can touch the ball. Right. And then you talk about moving the mound or lowering the mound and they all freak out like, oh, we can't do that. Well, you all saying you all can't do that is just further proof that the sport will not make the changes necessary to make it entertaining. So, sorry.
They do it in the NFL all the time, man. You cannot touch a wide receiver or a quarterback.
Every sport, Barrett.
You know what I mean?
They did it in the NBA with, the 3-second violation. Yep. And they do it with zone defenses. They do it in every sport to make sure that it's more watchable and entertaining. But baseball, they don't do anything. And the one thing they should do is litigate the shift, which would help so much. Right. And they refuse to do it. And it's staring them in the face. And look, they're patient. Major League Baseball is laying on the table right now coding. And they don't have a shock paddle to hit it with anymore.
Well, they do. They just not using that. They're choosing not to use it.
They're just not charging it or something.
Bring small ball back. Get runners on
stolen bases.
George Lopez on the stream says, which one of these dudes is recording out of a liquor store? That bell is getting annoying.
Who's coming in and out?
What is the bell? Like, where does that come from?
That's my front
that's
door.
You?
Man. Yeah, my front
that's
door.
Your ring?
Man. Oh my. Yeah, it sounds off, man.
What is happening? Like, is your grandson just going in and out?
Yeah, that's what.
Jesus,
he's
Get that kid a doggy door.
You got to put
That's
that.
What he's doing. He's messing with the dog.
Jacket.
He's going in and out. He wants to get in the pool. He comes ask somebody to get in the pool. Nobody wants to let him get in the pool. So he turned back around. Like, Papa, can I go in the pool?
I know
every 5 seconds, bro.
I know he was around you in that last half hour. That's why you weren't paying attention. I said, are you all right? Like, Barrett's just like, yeah. I knew something was happening.
Hey, look, he's standing in front of me like this.
Yeah.
You better get used to it.
He's about to do something. You know what I'm saying? He's about to do something to me or something. You know? Yo, dude, go sit down. When
Shander comes back, you're gonna be hearing this baby thing going off nonstop.
I know.
He's got one of those little monitors attached to his hip, like a walkie-talkie.
Right.
You just can hear. I gotta go. I gotta change a diaper.
Right? Can you imagine him having to be thrust into that life?
No.
Responsible?
I just
is that what you're talking about? Responsibility?
I just can't see it. Yes.
Yeah. Well, having gone through it not that long ago with like changing diapers every 6.5 minutes. Like as soon as you put a new one on, they just destroy the next one. You're like, are you kidding me? I didn't even get an hour out of this thing. I paid for that. You just crushed it.
And he told us, he said, yeah, we got a little nest egg, put over here for the baby, so we're cool as far as, I'm like, dude, that nest egg is going to be gone in a matter of seconds, bro.
Yeah. Wait till you go to Costco or BJ's and you go get the diapers and wipes and formula. They're like $130. And you're like, I'm just throwing it all away.
Tell him about the formula. Barrett was trying to warn him.
Tell him formula's like $50 or something like that, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. I'm like, yo, Mom, you're going to have to, you got to go all out. You got to feed this baby for a little while at least. You know what I'm saying? Keep us on our feet a little bit.
That you're carrying around first.
Right.
When we exhaust the keg, then we'll go to the formula.
Right.
We'll start picking up 6-packs.
He is Jason Martinez. Follow him on Twitter at Jason Mert, the Flyers Daily Podcast, and a lot going on in the world of hockey that's coming up this month of July. So you definitely want to be tuning in. Thanks, Jason, for jumping on, man.
Appreciate you, bro.
All right, there he is. He's out. And we got a couple of minutes here before overtime. Got to pay some bills, and we'll be back for the overtime segment. If Barrett's grandson doesn't pull the plug on his internet.
I just kicked him out of here.
Oh, you did? We'll be back on the middle on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. The savoring taste of a good bag of beef jerky is so enjoyable at any time of the day, as long as you can find it. Here's what we suggest. Pure Bull Beef Jerky is our answer, and soon it will be yours. Locally produced in the Philadelphia region, this high-quality, healthy protein snack is easy to secure. Go to steersnacks.com, and you'll see hot garlic, tropical heat, Pure Bull dry rub, and our favorite, Huck and Fod. What's that? Huck and Fod. Go now to steersnacks.com.
In the Wildwoods, our free beaches are spacious and welcoming with plenty of room to spread out. Your seat will be waiting for you. when you're ready to visit. The Wildwoods, creating cherished family memories for generations.
Attention women of South Jersey and the Delaware Valley. Sign up right now with Our Lady NRA instructor Nayara Andrzak, who will teach you gun safety as part of this 3-hour safety class, which is being held at Delaware Valley Sports Center in Philadelphia. For information, drop an email to info@DelawareValleySportsCenter.com. That's info@DelawareValleySportsCenter.com. Learn the fundamentals at Delaware Valley Sports Center. You can't miss.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out JAKIB Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the JAKIB Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the JAKIB Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on Bookit.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 98, is a proud sponsor of The Labor Show with J. and Krause every Saturday night from 6 till 8 p.m. IBEW Local 98's highly trained and superbly skilled electricians are the best in the business, setting the highest safety standards in the electrical industry. So when you're planning your next industrial, commercial, or residential project, choose an IBEW Local 98 union contractor. Learn more at IBEW98.org.
All right, overtime on the middle, JAKIB Media YouTube channel, Harry Mays and Barrett Brooks. Special thanks to Amy Fadul, Tom Byrne, and Jason Martinez today. Good little crew of guests, man.
No question, man. You know, Amy's gonna give it to us every single time. But then,
yeah,
you know, Jason.
You just started laughing as soon as he appeared on the screen.
No question, man. he just makes me laugh, man. You don't even have to. He didn't even try to be funny, man. To me, he's just funny, bro.
I know. The Penguin AZ on the stream says Barrett's grandson wants the double chocolate cereal bowl again.
That's what he had this morning.
Is that right? Chocolate milk on chocolate cereal?
Look, I told his dad. He was like, he's like, Pops, come on, man. Come on now. I was like, what you want me to do? He asked for it. What you want me to do? You want me to say no? Yes, Dad, say no.
Yeah, we should have your brother check in on the stream this week.
Have him come on the show?
Yeah.
Oh, man, he's too ornery. No, Philip would be too ornery, man.
You think so?
No, I'll see what he's got going on. That dude there, man, he's a piece of work also, man. And to make it so bad, he's a big dude now. I mean, he's like my size now. But when we were growing up, he's like this skinny dude, man. And he used to get picked on all the time. I used to fight for him every single day because he was scared of his shadow. Now, he's the meanest thing ever. He's like an old grizzly bear, bro.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
I got to meet this guy through the stream, man. I need to know more about him. I want him to come on in like a Baker Mayfield jersey or something.
Right. Well, he would too. He would too.
Just to give it to you. They're asking for a guest tomorrow. I'm efforting Mike Gill from ESPN down in Atlantic City. Mm-hmm. And Dan Schwartzman, my old buddy. They used to work with us back.
I gotta meet this guy, man. You guys talk about him all the
time. You
don't
know Dan?
No, I don't know Dan.
Oh, I'll tell you what. Dan comes on here. He's going to be asking you for your cell phone. He's going to be asking you for your email. And he'll try to be your best friend within 10 minutes. Guaranteed. Right. And Dan Cilio, who you can also find every afternoon doing the football show, the National Football Show on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel. Those are the three guests that we're looking at for tomorrow. Okay, now let's get to an over-under here. And I'm sure Birds 365 already did this one, but that's okay. Miles Sanders, rushing yards for the year, 1,023.5. And I think the way they calculated this is they extrapolated it out if he would play all 17 games based upon what he did last year. I think that's what they did, because you got to factor in now it's an extra game for all these yards, records.
What he had about 800 something this year, didn't he?
I think so.
So he's averaged over 800 yards the past 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
If he stays healthy, I think he's ready to come in this year a lot more healthier than he came in last year. You know what?
That's still quite a bit. I mean, with like Boston Scott is in there. You got Gallman from Memphis.
So yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go. I'm stepping out on faith, man. I'm gonna go with the over simply because this head coach is coming from Indianapolis and they ran the ball a lot.
Yeah, but you got Kerryon Johnson in there too. Don't forget about him.
Right. I'm still gonna go with the over. I think he finally gets off and becomes the runner that we want to be. And plus, he's gonna be trying to show up Barkley also. Yeah, I like it. I like the over. Here we go. Let's go.
And is Jordan Howard still on the roster?
Yes, he is. Yes,
and they got a lot of running backs, man.
They got like 7 guys on the roster right now. There's no way they're gonna keep more.
Right. You can't now. Gainwell, you're gonna be keeping him.
Gainwell is gonna.
Yeah, he's gonna figure into
time
this.
anyways.
Howard will be gone.
Yep.
And who knows? I don't know if
Scott might not make the squad.
Right, Scott or Kerryon Johnson. I don't think both of those stay.
No, one of those guys got to go. So, if you look at the size and everything, you look at Kerryon Johnson experience. I'd go with Kerryon as opposed to Boston.
Yeah,
Boston Scott.
So Dump Truck will be in a different jersey. You're thinking?
Yeah. He'd probably go back to the Saints. That's that tends to what they do. They tend to do that because they go back to the old team when it comes to the Saints. Malcolm went back. A lot of guys go back to that same team.
Right. All right. Dallas Goedert. His over-under in yards receiving, 809.5.
I'm going to go with the under there.
You're going under. Now, explain to me your thought process there, because is this more based on Jalen Hurts, and maybe, him not being a tight end?
Yes.
Like that tight end was always Carson Wentz's safety net. Like it was always sort of his safety blanket, if you will.
Yeah, he would throw it to triple coverage because he loved him so much. But I'm gonna say under with him simply because he has relationship with Smith. He's already played with Smith. And he likes the receivers that are around him right now. The young guys he likes Quez Watkins, Hightower. So I think he's gonna go with the receiver a lot more than going with the tight end.
Now, Jason Kroom is on this roster and Richard Rodgers. They brought Rodgers back again.
Well, Rodgers is a blocker.
Right.
He might not even make the squad because Kroom's probably beat him out. And plus they got that Wilson kid also.
Caleb Wilson?
Yeah, they like him.
Yeah.
He's fast. He's a hybrid wide receiver / tight end. So they like him.
How did they get him? Was he an undrafted free agent?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, some UCLA. Yeah, okay. I do remember him.
So yeah, I think that's what they're gonna go.
He was with the Cardinals and the Reds. He's been around for a couple of different teams the last couple of years and always gets waived.
Yeah, well, this year they like him because he can run like a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
They loved him in camp last year too.
So, 6'4", 240, man.
Yeah. He can run, man. Great separation.
All right, one more. Jalen Reagor or Travis Fulgham, who gets more yards receiving?
Reagor.
You didn't even hesitate.
Reagor. Rager's going to stand out this year because he no longer has to be that number one receiver anymore. Smith is going to be the number one. They're going to
Was he ever the number one?
They tried to make him the number one. They tried to.
Right, and he got hurt.
Yeah, he's a guy that he flourishes when he's the priority on gadget type of plays. Or like, you put him in a position where he's running reverse, or if he speed screens and stuff like that, or slant plays, because he performs better when he has the ball in his hands. Not going to get the ball, but when the ball is already in his hands, that's when he flourishes. He turns into a running back.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's the direction I'm going with that. He's going to have a lot more yards than Fulgham.
All right, yeah, you didn't hesitate. I didn't even get all the names out, and you were like Reagor. So I mean, that's good if that can happen. That would mean that he would be playing his way, into being a first-round pick.
He's going to turn into a dominant number 2. A dominant number 2. The reason why I say Smith will be the number 1 because he's going to be the guy that's going to move the chains. He's not the deep threat that you're looking for. Smith is more of a guy that's going to move the chains, the consistent player.
Rager's got more speed, right?
Yeah, Rager's supposed to be have more speed.
He's supposed to be fast.
Yeah. So he is fast. I don't know what he was thinking about when he went to the combine and ran that time, but he's a lot faster than that. He's like a 4.3, some said a 4.2 guy while in college.
All right, the stream is asking for touchdowns for Devontae Smith. We went through that one yesterday. That over-under was 4.5, and you went over.
Way over.
Yeah, you went over.
Yeah,
I would go over too. I'm thinking at least like 6.
No, I'm going double-digit guy.
Double digits?
Yeah, double-digit guy. I'm telling you, these guys are more fluid than what people are giving credit for. You know, this offense will be good. The defensive side of the ball, they're going to struggle, but offensively, they will score.
Wow.
They'll score a lot of points, a lot of yardage. It's going to be where they're going to have to beat teams by outscoring them as opposed from the defense stopping guys.
Right. That's a little scary.
It's going to absolutely be scary. On third down, we're going to be holding our breath on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
Every single third
Every
down.
Single week.
Oh
man.
I already got my Tums ready.
All right, last one. Offensive touches. And we're not talking special teams or anything. It's just offense. Boston Scott or Kenny Gainwell?
Gainwell.
Yeah, that's what I want it to be.
Yep.
Gainwell. I really like him.
They're gonna, and that's another thing. Gainwell is a returner. I don't think Dump Truck is.
Well, that doesn't count for offense. They take returns out of it.
Okay. Well, even but I'm saying he's going to have more of an opportunity because they're going to dress him more than they'll dress Boston Scott because Boston Scott doesn't do special teams. He just does offense. And if Gainwell does special teams, that means he'll be dressed on game day and have more of an opportunity to go out there and have the opportunity to be a guy that's going to go out there and get more touches.
All right, sounds good. All right, tomorrow, I said Mike Gill. He's already confirmed. We don't have a time yet, but he said he's coming on. Dan Schwartzman and Xander's supposed to get us Dan Cilio, who you can catch each and every weekday right here on the National Football Show on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel. Congrats again to Eytan and his wife Angela, their new baby boy. Let's go through
Teddy.
Yeah, Teddy. But the whole name, though, is great. Edward Teddy Isaac Shander.
You sound like a president, bro.
I know. I know. All right, we'll talk at you tomorrow. Thanks so much.